Clobberin time!
Atomic batteries to power. Turbines to speed.
Roger. Ready to move out.
Clobberanimo!
Hey, Merry, ho, I should say, Merry Christmas. Merry Clobby Christmas to you all. My dear friends, Clobberers, Clobberanimos, Clobberooskies, Clobberettes, Clobberoids, and Clobber Santas and Santa Clobbers and whatever else we might have out there. It is good to see you all, my dear friends. Welcome to a Christmas with Clobby. Yes, not to put too fine a point on it. Hey there. Hey. I mean, who's Christmasing tonight? It is a Christmas Eve, is it not? I think it is. That's the rumor. So what's up? What a bunch of fantastic friends here. No particular show notes or anything like that. I'll just kind of wind my chat back and say hellos. How about that? Just do it the old-fashioned way. But of course, I could never start off a show without doing it this way. I want to thank you all, of course, but I really want to give a shout out to everybody naturally, and I will. And I hope you're all having a wonderful Christmas Eve, as well as the Beatles would say, simply having one. The great Eric K. Again, I don't know who's here yet because I've not been able to look at the chat. I will know that after I shout out our great wrenches, whether they're here or not. I want to shout them out. The great Eric K., the Bronze Wrencher. Thanks for all you do, dude. I mean, at this time of year, this is the time when we kind of look back a little bit and just thank. I know this is Thanksgiving for that sort of thing, but other things, Christmas, we also talk about things that we're thankful for. So, Bronze Wrencher, appreciate you, buddy. Another man who does just so much for us. He's here all the time, and just what a great friend that both Eric and the great Chris Persia, the Vindicator Wrench of the North, has been. So you guys are fantastic. I hope you're here tonight, but whether you are or not, I'm just getting that out there. I can't see the chat right now, but I will. I just want to get these out of the way real quick. I'll say it like it's nothing. Really appreciate you, both of you, Eric and Chris, and D Bud Martin, the Wrench of Iron. Dude, thank you for all you do as well. Also, the great Clobberin Times artist of Science Fiction Tales cover by my wonderful first officer, Commander R.M. Briggs. Hungry Boy, the Master of Clabonius. Lord Thoth, LT, man. Great friend of the show, Wrencher God Extraordinaire. And of course, Avon lives. Long live the Legion. LLL, buddy. My good buddy and frequent reviewer of comics, partner, J-Man, the Wrench Without Fear. I hope you're having a wonderful Christmas Eve night, buddy. That old rascal phantom outsider. Yes, indeed, the knowledgeable one. Good buddy Stephen M., a.k.a. the great Kal-El, the Super Wrench. And, of course, I know he's here. I don't know if he's here yet, but I saw him at another chat earlier. Maddie's daddy, my great buddy Steve Mitchum, long time, great friend, one of the greatest friends any guy could ever have. And a master of wrenching, of course, as well. He's a wrench and just a good friend of the show. I know Apollome's Minion, I think I saw you out there, if I'm not mistaken, but let's shout out the lovely truck dog. I hope the truck dog is doing well, and you too as well. Apollome, wherever you are out there, I know it's cold. I know you're probably on the road working. Be safe, Be well and have a wonderful Christmas. Simply have a wonderful Christmas time. And now let me take a look at my chat and shout out all you fine folks who are here tonight. Hey, Sandra Feliciano. I was honored to stop in for a short time to the Feliciano's King Dolphin TV stream they had tonight and got to talk to Raymond a little bit, some other great folks there on that panel and in that chat. Good to see you, Sandra. I hope you're doing well tonight. Classic Comics. What's up, dude? I saw you were streaming earlier. I saw it before I went on to Raymond, and I lurked and left a like there for you, buddy. I was on the run doing stuff, but I hope you had a great stream. Stuart Mitchell. Dolly had braces as always. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you all. Merry Christmas, J-Man, Sandra, Classic Comics, and Stuart Mitchell. And, of course, let's see who else we haven't seen yet. Gwagnar. Merry Christmas, Gwagnar. It's good to see you, Gwag. And it's good to see you, Classic Comics, and all of you, of course. All these great wrenches and friends are here. Let's see. Who else we got? Who else we got? Let me scroll down a little bit and see who's here. Claude Salling, good to see you. I hope you're having a Merry Christmas Eve. Merry Christmas Eve. What's the difference, right? The Catman, a.k.a. Dee Myers. Merry Christmas. Bubba Doom 1. Hello there, Bubba Doom. Merry Christmas to you. Clobberin Times. Hail Clobby, says Stuart Mitchell. Hail to you. Wait a minute. Did someone say Raquel had left something in the chat? I don't see it. I see where Sandra has tagged Raquel. Says, I hope you have a wonderful holiday, but I don't know if Raquel's in the chat. Oh, well, I don't see anything. My StreamYard does not go that far back, apparently. Weird. Anyway. Maybe my StreamYard's being weird. I'll have to take a look at. Let me take a look at the other chat. At the YouTube chat. Nope. Shoot you. The YouTube chat, the first chat I see is the one that Sandra left around 7:28, something like that. Weird. I don't know what's wrong. Anyway, let's see who's here. That's all right. I'll talk to her as soon as I can, of course. Let's see. Bubba Doom. Let's see. Merry Christmas. Michael Carney. Merry Christmas to you. Good to see you. Ezra Goldstein. Merry Christmas to you and Happy Hanukkah. Thank you for being here. Hope you're having a wonderful night. Let's see. Donnie Pearson. Merry Christmas to you, my friend. I hope you were doing well. Pat S. Buddy, what's going on, man? Good to see you. Just finished watching the 4 episodes for tonight. We're not doing Star Trek tonight. Pat S., I don't know if you do that or not. We're just a little Christmas get together. Star Trek will return. Saturday Star Trek will return. Okay. Oh, Okay, So what's next year? J-Man said Raquel gave a $100 super chat. Not sure if you saw that. Oh, thank you, J-Man. No, oh my goodness, she better not be doing that. But no, I don't see it. It's not showing it. I don't have it. I can't see it in either of my chats. Well, thank you for letting me know that, J-Man. I don't. Weird. Weird indeed. JT Kirk, what's up, buddy? I'm going to get that girl. She ain't supposed to be doing that. But I appreciate her. Andy Masterson, what is up? What do you say there, Kimasabi? Hope you and yours are having a great Christmas. Let's see. Yeah, it's gone, J-Man. I don't know why. DJ Ronnie G, Merry Christmas. Well, just good to see you here. Tobor the Robot. Hey, Merry Christmas to you. Great to see you. I don't know. I don't know what happened to it, but she doesn't need to be giving me no damn super chats. She should know better than that. But And naturally, it's appreciated as well, but she doesn't need to do that. I'll get on her for that. But I love her and miss her, and we can't wait to see her. I can't wait to see her whenever I see her again. Hopefully, maybe she'll be here for the clubhouse Thursday night. I don't know, but we will get with her soon enough. So what's everyone doing tonight? what are you doing for Christmas Eve? I mean, I can't say I do anything on Christmas Eve ever, but I'm weird that way, I guess. I don't really. Hey, Wolfie, good to see you. I'm doing the same thing I do every other Saturday night, I guess. Let's see here. I'm sitting next. Well, I got the TV on. I watched a little football today, and took a ride around a little bit. It's a Wonderful Life is on NBC showing it. I love the movie, but it just sucks to put commercials in it. Oh man, it really takes you out of crap now. I'm sorry. I have to put up with commercials and a lot of stuff sometimes, but so Catman says not doing much, just chilling out. Some people go do a lot of get together. I remember when my family was much younger, we used to get together early on Christmas, or in the middle of the day on Christmas Eve, and you didn't get done later. A lot of people are freezing. Let's see here. Let's see what all you guys are up to. JT Kirk says it's below 0 before wind out here, and we have a 2-week-old and a 2.5-year-old. So we watched the Lions lose. The Lions lost today. Oh, I forgot who beat them. Watch church, then watch the Grinch and got kiddos to bed. Well, the Grinch, that's cool. Let's see here. Jamin says we watched 11th Doctor Christmas Carol. That's greatness. I'll probably watch that today or tomorrow again for the millionth time. Then I'll watch House of the Dragon. Tomorrow I'll watch some Judy Garland movies. I'm going to be watching my usual. I watch every Christmas, Christmas Eve or Christmas, the Blackadder Christmas Carol. I love that. But I love the Doctor Who Christmas Carol as well. Hey, Glinzer. I forgot who beat the Lions today, JT. I'm home, going to have Christmas next week. People and family got the vid. Oh, says Fan, I'm sorry, dude. Sisters, kids, and nephews, mild symptoms, and my brother is recovering from his bout with, oh, man. Well, at least you're going to make it up next week. That's better than nothing. Sorry about that, dude. I'm cheering for Steelers victory tonight. Yeah, Steelers, even though I've fallen out of love with the NFL as a regular, I'll still watch it a little bit, but I just don't love it like I used to for 50 years. For 50 years, I loved it so much, but I still love NFL history, and it's an historic occasion. This is the yesterday, actually, technically, but the 50th anniversary of the Immaculate Reception, and to have the Steelers and Raiders playing again tonight. It's funny. What happened to Franco Harris is just so sad. But it's kind of funny that these players in this game aren't even, none of them were even born. Some of them, in some cases, some of their parents weren't even born when the first game was played. Oh, Maddie's daddy. Oh, there you go. On the cell phone while wrapping presents for my tiny princess. Fantastic, buddy. Quoting Batman the animated series, does Kal-El? Yes, I haven't seen It's a Wonderful Life in a long time. It's been a while since I could get past the title. Wow, sort of quoting it. Pat S says, "Did your family have Christmas Eve and not tell you?" Yeah, they always do that to me. I hate when that happens. It's 29 degrees in New Orleans, and mass is in 2 hours. Oh, dude, you go to mass do you go to midnight mass on New Year's Eve? Christmas Eve. It's going to be cold. Yeah, we've got, let's see, right now in BR, it's 28 degrees. That's unheard of down here. Just hope the pipes don't burst on us. That's the only big concern is the pipes. So far, obviously, if electricity goes out, you'll all be the first to know. But Apollony said, I just drove through Winnemucca. How do you say that? Winnemucca? heading to Hermiston, two places I'm not that familiar with, but in Oregon, I guess. This is a freezing rain tonight. It's got to be super, super cold up there. There were about 8 or 9 games in the NFL today that were all played in below freezing weather, including the game in Pittsburgh tonight. PvP says, had Christmas dinner at Cousins on Thursday, so Christmas celebration's done. Just eating and watching Christmas movies. Good deal. We're doing what little Christmas I'll be doing. I'll be doing that tomorrow at my mom and dad's house, in the afternoon. Just a little get together, nothing too big. I'll get to see my daughter because I don't get to see her that much. My son, I live with my son, but he's out of town at his mom's and with his mom and his sisters and stuff. But he will come over to my parents tomorrow, and I'll get to see my daughter there and some cousins, and of course my mom and dad and one of my brothers and stuff. So for me, it'll be something. Oh yeah, JT, that's right. Carolina. My former team, the Saints, managed to beat the Browns, but they need for Carolina to lose that game, so you guys didn't help us out. Not that you needed to help us out, but sorry about that one, JT. Wagner said, the weather is finally getting better. Went from 20 to 21 in the past 12 hours. Wow. Just Joe Jobber, buddy, welcome in. Merry Christmas to you, buddy. He says, going to watch 2 favorite Christmas action movies, Chuck Norris, Invasion, USA. There you go. I'll probably have to watch Die Hard tonight. Let's see here. Are you sure about that, Phantom? I saw one of the guys on the NFL Network say it was technically yesterday, but I'll maybe it was today. I thought it was today too, but then I heard one of them say yesterday, but could be wrong. Yeah. I can tell you this: I actually watched part of that game back when it first happened. That's how old I am, and I'm young. Of course, you probably were at that game, Phantom. Wolfie says, checking on family in the Buffalo area. Everyone okay so far? Actually, actual historic blizzard conditions right now. Lake effect, snow hellscape. All the Christmas plans for them are pretty much canceled. It's minus 20 degrees here, says J-Man. Is that by our standards, J-Man, or by you? Because I know you guys use a different system. The lovely Sherry, beautiful girl. How you doing? Hope you're staying warm up there, and I hope you're having a wonderful Christmas Eve and Christmas, my dear. What you doing for Christmas night? You can tell us. What's the secret? Hey, Gap After Dark. Good to see you. Just got home from family gathering, had a great time, and when we watched you watched Top Gun Maverick. Excellent. Good to see you. I'm glad you had a great time there, my friend. Winnemucca. Okay, Winnemucca. It's where John Davy is from, the Captain of Marvels. Yeah. Wow. Cool. So let's see here. Just checking. Fan Outsider said, I watched that game on TV like the Steelers in the 70s because they had personality. Mean Joe Green. Yeah, I hated the Steelers in the 70s, but they were the best team ever. No question about that. Hey, Death Ray, what's up, dude? Says Nasty killed in Canada. We'll be watching a couple of Canadian classics, A Christmas Story and Black Christmas. Excellent. Good stuff. Sherry says, feels like 2. Oh, feels like 2. Well, 2 below. Oh, my goodness. Have a glass of wine and watching you with Christmas music playing in the background. Well, Lovely Sherry. Excellent. Snuggle up, warm up. Just here, I'll give you my coat. My coat, you can make a 10 out of it. I know it would fit you like 50 times over, but you'll be nice and warm. Actually, I don't have I have a big coat, yeah. See, down here, Sherry, you buy coats and use them. In our case, because we're way down here, we use a coat maybe like the big coats, the ones you really have to have, the snug ones, maybe 2 or 3 times. I went out today and had to wear the big coat for, it might be maybe 2 or 3 times a year. Well, not 2 or 3, sometimes like a handful of times. My bigger coat I've had for so long because I only need to use it. I'm telling you, probably it could be under 12 times a year at minimum. But yeah, you'd love it. You could it'd be like a sleeping bag to you. Minimus. Okay, minus 20. Oh, minus 4. Oh, okay. Basically, yeah, something like that. Minus 20 for you guys up in Canada is about minus 4 for us. Jeez. Winnemucca is the bunkie of Nevada. Oh, I understand that reference. Classic Comics says, I make it a point to watch Mimis T3K version of Santa Claus Conquers the Martians. Oh, yeah, that's great stuff there. Hey, Retro Nerd Girl, I hope you're doing well, my friend. Merry Christmas to you. Watching Xmas movies and relaxing. There you go. That's what you do. Cardinal Sin, what is up, my brother? Oh, thank you, dude. Merry Christmas to you, Retro Nerd Girl, by the way, and Merry Christmas to you, Cardinal Sin. Thank you, buddy. You were too kind. I don't know why I'm getting texted. Oh, okay. That's Minimus texting me. Thank you, Cardinal Sin. Gil, you were too generous. You've been such a generous fellow over this year and everything, and you always are. And I cannot thank you enough. Merry Christmas to you, my friend. And Lisa's here. Lisa, Merry Christmas, Lisa. The lovely Lisa. It is so great to see you. I'm glad we have some ladies here tonight. It's always nice to have ladies hanging out with the guys. I mean, you guys are okay, but let's face it, we always just like it when the ladies showed up. I did have some, like I said, didn't do anything really Christmassy yet today. It's tomorrow what little I'll be doing, but I did have some really good turkey that my son got me, or he got a couple of them. We have this place down here called Honey Baked Ham, but they make a lot of good stuff as well. And they make this incredible glazed turkey that is to die for. Oh, it's so good. Slice it up. Man, I'd annihilate that. Just too good. I can't stay away from it. And like an idiot, I made a sandwich with them earlier when I first got some today. And I'm like, you know what? That sandwiches weren't that great. You don't eat this with a sandwich. Just eat it in that juice that it comes with, or that glaze. I mean, that unbelievable juice it comes with. It's better without a sandwich. It doesn't even need to be a sandwich. It's so good. Great stuff. And we got more to bring tomorrow to my mom and dad. So bring some more of that stuff. So yeah. And for the hell of it, I needed a place to go take a walk. So I went over to the mall about an hour before it closed, just for the hell of it, just to walk around, get some walking done. And couldn't find much of anything, though. I was looking for something to find for my son. Yeah, wasn't even that crowded. I was expecting it to be a big crowd. The roast beast? Should Minimus be stealing the roast beef? Says Maddie's dad. I don't know. Maybe he should. I don't have any stuffing and gravy. Phantom, I don't have anything like that to eat it with. All I have is the turkey. Nothing else to eat it with. But it was fine. It doesn't need anything else, really. Jim Largo, Merry Christmas. Yeah, I don't cook. My mom, I'll get some decent food tomorrow, though. Nothing like Thanksgiving, probably, but Grinch reference. My bad. I probably blocked a lot of people, Phantom. I mean, because I came, I know I accidentally walked in front of a few people today at the mall. If that counts. But, yeah. So, oh, Shiite. Double C. Hey there. Baking a turkey tomorrow. Ah, excellent. So, what I really want is fried turkey. I mean, of course, this stuff I'm talking about, this is greatness, by the way. But I want some fried turkey. I don't think I'll get it this year, unfortunately. But man, we get that down here a lot, man. Fried turkey's the best. Oh God. Ezra says, Clobby, did you hear that there will be a Doctor Who trailer dropping soon? Do you care? I did not hear that, but to give it an honest, non-flippant answer, no, I can't say that I care anymore. Doctor Who, as far as going forward, other than no, I will watch the David Tennant episodes. But if you're talking about a trailer for Shooty and the stuff going forward, I can't say that I care. J-Man, the wrench without fear, says, okay, got to get going. Merry Christmas to you, my friend. I hope you and your wonderful wife have a fantastic, and your whole family and your friends, of course, have a fantastic Christmas, buddy. I really appreciate you, J-Man. Thank you so much. You've been a fantastic buddy. Everyone, shout out to the great J-Man. Ezra, I can't say that I can't, other than like I'm mildly interested to see the David Tennant episode, so I do care about those. But if these are trailers, or if this is a trailer for the Chuti Gatois or whatever, Shooty, then no, I can't say I care that much. Lisa says, just finished cleaning up after the most tender beef tenderloin with mushrooms and onions and a Caesar salad. Now it's time for R&R. Yes. What you going to do? You going to watch something? Real Wade Nation Gaming on Twitch. Hello there. Good to see you. Merry Christmas to you. Kal-El says, I don't care for the next season of Doctor Who except for the Tennant episodes myself. They've turned that show into a dumpster fire, otherwise agreed, and I just hope those are okay. I understand. Look, I've seen pretty much everything that I love as a geek in life. Everything. And I mean everything, and this is because I'm old. Ruined, at least on a personal level. Changed to the point where I still have my memories of what went before with certain characters or IPs, as the case may be. But going forward, they're totally soiled, totally ruined. Jeff Morris, Merry Christmas. Good to see you. They're so not what I want them to be anymore. They've been ruined. And every single one that I can think of that I love just about has had that happen. So I've sort of like this come to Jesus meeting. Like I'm going, well, you know what? If once in a while I get something interesting out of it, fine. But as far as them going forward with it, it's going to be something that has been another thing that's been taken away from me that I will no longer care about. That's Doctor Who is among many things. Doctor Who's one of them. And Doctor Who is at that point right now. So if those David Tennant episodes can be something of a gift and not be filled with a bunch of crap that Davies is likely to do with them, if that's like a little bit of a, if it's some sort of a slight little throwback, if it's something that I can enjoy as, because David Tennant had episodes, he also had episodes I didn't like. I'm not one of those that worships Russell T. Davies. He did a lot of things I do not care for. But if that can be something, I can still enjoy it and still just realize that going forward, as they say, Doctor Who's just not for me anymore. What they call, or what these people call Doctor Who, like so many other things, and this all started with happening in comics in the 80s and 90s. Like so many of my comic book characters I love, and so many other things that I love, like Star Trek and Star Wars, that have been taken away from me. I'll get to the point where I'll go, yeah, that's just something. That's something with the name on it. It's in name only, but it's not mine. It's not what I grew up loving. They're never going to convince me in my own head candy. So, once in a while, if we get a little throwback, once in a while, if something comes out and a little gift here and there, and if those Tenet episodes are kind of a gift to those of us who love old Doctor Who, and it's not ruined both with woke drivel and all this stuff, then that will be nice. But I'm not counting on it. But it would be nice. Donnie Pearson says, well, the pre-Jodie era is among the things I love best about Doctor Who, even though the Jodie era itself was so-so for me. Well, so-so is way up there. I'm glad, I'm glad that, you're there with it, Donnie. To me, the Jodie era is filth and not Doctor Who at all, but that's just me. I don't control anyone else but me. So I think it's a loathsome trash, but I'll tell you this, Donnie, about that. Even though I hate the horrible Jodie era, to be honest, I don't, as much as I love the actor Peter Capaldi, I don't like his era. He didn't have any stories I liked. I didn't like the way his character was written. I've said this many times. That's a lost era to me, but the show wasn't completely dead because, if they hadn't turned it into the Jodie trash that killed it, who knows? Maybe something could have been good. But so the show was really kind of killed for me, even in that last few years of Moffat. It's just that Jodie was not even just the Jodie era. If the horrible Timeless Children trash had not happened, maybe I just would have been able to chalk it up as something I could get over. But that, unless Davies at least retcons that out of it, then it's pretty much a dead deal for me, even if the Tenet episodes are enjoyable. D-Bud says, considering the writers, I don't even care about the Tenet episodes. Well, I don't blame you. Like I said, I'm mildly interested in them at best. Ezra says, I also heard that Jodie Whittaker won't be doing any Big Finish stories. Do you care? Definitely don't care. No, I do care. I'm glad that she won't. It's funny. I do care about that in the sense that good. It kind of shows you what she is to the show and how meaningless she really is. Wolfie said, when they changed it from Doctor Who to Doctor Who, then I knew it was time to stop. Donnie also said, anyway, the TARDIS is among the things I loved best about Doctor Who as well. Likewise, the theme too. Well, the Doctor Who theme is one of the most amazing, brilliant pieces of TV music ever. Ever, ever, ever. And Donnie says, I myself am cautiously looking forward to of Doctor Who, even though I don't judge those who aren't. Well, that's always, you say that a lot, Donnie, and everyone appreciates that you don't judge them, and right back at you. We don't judge you either. People can like what they like or dislike what they dislike, and you are a very fair-minded individual, and I appreciate that. Everyone does appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you, JT Kirk, for the $5 super chat. You were too kind, buddy. Merry Christmas. Appreciate you. He says, what is the standard Christmas greeting on the Avatar planet? Feliz Navidad. Oh, Navi. That I got you. Personally, I hate the first Avatar movie, but I like that joke better than anything I saw in that long-ass movie. Haven't seen the second one. I don't know if you have. Stuart Mitchell says, hey, Captain Finity and beyond. Merry Christmas, my friend. Back in the David Tennant days, Doctor Who was the biggest comeback in the history of British television. Well, guaranteed the primetime Christmas Day slot every year. Chris Chibnall was the end of that. Yes. And the thing about that is, Stuart, for a good chunk of time there, since the Christmas Invasion, at least up until the Snowman episode with Matt Smith, it was so much fun having the Doctor Who Christmas special to come home to look forward to, for me, because I guess it was just so great because, I would get home after doing all the Christmas family stuff at my parents' house or whatever, And I would have the thing. I would usually wait till it aired on BBC America. Although the first couple of years when we got it, I had to get it. I had to download it because it wasn't being run in America at the same time yet. But anyway, so every year, I'd come home and I would wait for that night, that Christmas night, after all the Christmas stuff had been done. You're all sitting around. You've been, long day doing Christmassy stuff if you have, and at least in my case. And then, man, just to have that thing to what a nice end to the Christmas to Christmas night, to just sit there and enjoy the Doctor Who Christmas special. Louise Sparrow, Merry Christmas to you, my dear. I'm honored to see you here. Thank you so much. I hope you're having a wonderful Christmas. Simply having a wonderful Christmas, in fact. Wagner says, I'm a huge Doctor Who fan, but I have no interest in watching the Tennant Redux. I don't blame you. I mean, I admit I do have interest in it, but... And Captain Infinity, I agree, buddy. He said the Jodie era is technically not canon. Agreed, sir. Agreed, sir. Agreed, sir. Indeed, sir. Indeed, sir. Agreed, sir. Let's see here. And my chat ran back a little bit. Steve says, for me, the best TV theme songs were Star Trek. Well, great one. Kung Fu. Oh, yeah, that was a great one, man. Mission Impossible. Lalo Schifrin. Great stuff. Green Hornet. Greatness. Al Hurt. Batman, of course. Yeah, a lot of geek stuff. I just love old TV theme songs in general, but those are some of the great ones. JT says, I bet you appreciate me less now after that joke. No, I appreciate you even more. I appreciate you big time, buddy. Because Captain Infinity said, best TV theme tune on YouTube as absolutely definitively Han Solo PI. Well, I'm afraid I'm not familiar with that one. I know Magnum PI, but I don't know that one. Magnum PI is a great theme song. I can tell you that. Avatar was a good idea. I would probably disagree with that a little bit, Phantom. He says an Avatar. Oh, no, I agree with you. The concept, yes. You're right. I'm sorry. I just meant the whole making the movie one. I think was a great idea. But the concept is a good idea. No, I'm with you. I'm sorry. I misspoke, Vanty. Yes. We should watch I love the Blackadder Christmas special, Christmas Carol. I watch it every year. I'll be watching it again tonight later. Pat S. We should do a watch party of that. I should get the great Mark D. with a C to help us with a watch party of that. I should have thought of that. Crimson Ghost, the Fiend. Hey there. Merry Christmas. Welcome to Clobberin Times. Good to see you. Yeah, Man from Uncle's a great theme, Pleasant Valley Picker. Look it up. 62 seconds well spent. I will, Captain. Yeah, Taxi's a good one. Rockford's one of the greatest. Both of those are Michael Post, aren't they? Yeah, no lyrics. Oh, a Blackadder Christmas Carol special would be great. Joe says 80s cartoons had some of the best themes. Mask, Jace the Wheel Warriors are my faves. I don't think I watched those, so I don't know them. Oh, yeah, Bubba Doom, by the way, yes. A-Team's a great one. But yeah, I don't know those, Joe. Jobber. Sapphire and Steel. I've only seen a little bit of Sapphire and Steel. I keep meaning, I'm not kidding, Ezra. I keep meaning to go back and watch that. Even if Captain Infinity will think lesser of me because it's time travel. I don't know what Captain Infinity thinks of that show, but I think it's time travel, right? But hey, yes. The Avengers series, great theme. Dave G sound. What is up? You know, I haven't checked on Santa Claus. Has anyone seen where Santa Claus is tonight? Maybe let's see if we can track him. Oh, Santa Tracker. There we go. Maybe we should check on Santa Claus, see what he's doing. Santa Claus already flew over me, of course. And he said, nah, you don't get anything. And I said, that's a fair cop. Where are you, Santa? The Santa Tracker must be busy tonight. It won't load. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, Ezra, I shall. Crimson Ghost said, just got me some Migos. Oh, yeah. And out of them, I got some classics, classic Superman, Batman, Robin. They just put out some new editions of those in the store. Captain Affinity said, and Peter E. Mayhew, I sent you the YouTube link in the Twats. Okay, thanks. That because otherwise I would probably forget knowing me, Captain. So thank you. I'll go check those out later. What happened? Santa Tracker not working. Where's Santa? That's it. Well, that's disturbing. I just want to find the Santa Tracker. Maybe it's the NORAD one. Where are you, Santa Tracker? Gary had it. I don't know which one is though. Huh. Who tracks? I know maybe NASA's tracking him. It's too much of a pain in the ass to load. Oh boy. That's not it. Well, I wanted to. Okay, there. How to track Santa? There you are. Maybe. I think I found it. Somebody's. Maybe not. I don't know how you find that thing. Well, crap. Oh, I see it. It's on YouTube. I guess I can't show it. It's on a YouTube channel. Oh, well. Oh, wait a minute. Santa Tracker, I lost you. Urgh. I had it too. Erg. There it is. What if I could show that when I get in trouble? Anybody pop in while I was gone? Sorry, buddy. I was looking for something. I couldn't see the chat. I was going to find the Santa Tracker. I thought that would be. Because I know, for example, I was talking, Santa doesn't bring anything to me, but I was wondering if just this once he could bring something to Captain Infinity. There it is. Let's see. Because I want him to bring a time machine to Captain Infinity. There you go. Merry Christmas, Mr. Potter. It takes a second for this thing to. Oh, I see. I made a mistake. There. All right. Boy, this thing's going slow. Sorry, everybody. My computer's. in trouble. If you could hear me, everybody, I'm having some technical difficulties. There we go. But I have no control over my damn computer for a minute. I don't need audio. Now. There you go. Look at that. I think that's working. Look, everybody. Santa Claus. Santa Claus ain't coming to town. Oh, you hear me good. Thanks, Steve. There's minimusness. Man. Thank you, Retro Nerd Girl. Yeah, I found one on ScrewTube. I'll just show it for a minute. I guess I can't get into too much trouble. It's Santa live NORAD. I guess YouTube doesn't care if I. Yeah. So there he is, folks. I wonder if he knows he's being tracked. I guess he probably lets him do it, right? Hungry boy. Oh, my goodness. Hungry for a safe Yuletide for hey, buddy. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, hungry boy. Merry Christmas, Mr. Potter. You're nothing but a scurvy little spider. There we go. Merry Christmas, buddy. Good to see you, man. Hey, Vic Fontaine. Thank you, Vic. Yeah, I saw that, Vic. Yeah, I saw he was doing that. So I'll just leave it up there for a minute. I wasn't really. He knows, he knows way more technical stuff than I do. I mean, Gary, the great Gary with Nerdrotic, who I was watching him earlier as well. But yes, there you go. See this Santa Claus. It doesn't say where. Let me see where he's at because I can't really see it from here. That doesn't tell me where he is. Oh yeah, Portsmouth, New Hampshire. He's out in Maine and New Hampshire right now. The thing is this, folks. Here's my question. I have for you. Hey, give me back my action horror movies. Welcome and Merry Christmas to you. Good to see you. All right, let's see here. JT Kirk says has an international ID broadcast similar to a commercial airlines. So militaries can track him through the sky and avoids spooling up the AA systems and scrambled jets. Yeah, but I figure he's got magic too. Here's my problem here. Hungry boy, not Hungry boy. I'm sorry, Hungry boy. I meant Captain Infinity. I want to know this, or any of you really. We have this tracker thing, right? And it's constantly showing Santa Claus in the air. So how is he delivering the presents if he's in the air the whole time? Does he have a transporter? Is this a hologram? And he's really going, beaming down onto the roofs and going down because again, it's not showing him going into chimneys and houses and stuff. It's just showing Santa Claus, flying everywhere. They never show he never leaves the sleigh, right? Am I wrong? Have you watched this enough that they show him? But what's the deal here? What's the deal? I don't know. If he's Santa Claus, why isn't he making the delivery? Oh, never mind. Well, I don't think he would need an oxygen tank, Hungry Boy. Santa Claus is not human, so. To NORAD, says Captain Infinity. Captain Infinity Leon says, according to NORAD, Santa drops cluster elves for maximum reach. Well, I don't understand. If Santa never leaves the sleigh, how's he delivering the presents? I don't know. He jumps out and magically appears at each and every location, says Catman. Okay, okay, that works with me, sir. That works for me just fine. Just being sure there, sir. It's cold up in here. Sherry says, boy, man, this my thing is acting really slow here. Santa sends his elves to the houses. They glitch in and out of the never-ending sack. Yes. Well, that works for me, but I always say, why do they then say that Santa is the one that goes? I mean, do they have like Santa has a replicant that goes in there for him, Captain Finity? We already know he stops time. Retro Nerd Girl says the Google tracker shows that Santa is in Bolivia. They also show him delivering gifts down the chimney. They do. Okay. How would they be able to track that? That's true. Santa is a dimensional being. He operates in the fifth dimension, and we can only see up to the third. Yeah, there you go. Now, did anybody see the Christmas Chronicles? The first one with well, I know with I'm talking about Kurt Russell. The first one had Kurt Russell. And it was a lot of fun, I thought. Yes, I didn't watch the second one, Sherry. How was that? But the first one was a lot of fun. Kurt Russell is hilarious. He was fantastic as Santa Claus. I did not. Did anyone see the second one? Second one kind of looked scary to me. I mean, it looked like it was going to be. They were going out of their way to be Wokey McWoke pants. I am not saying it was. Captain. And there's Wolfie quoting Star Trek V. Let's see. Okay, the second one was good, Louise. Okay, good. I have to watch it, but I really enjoyed the first one. A lot of fun. And, Kurt Russell's fantastic. Yeah, that first one was really good. Had a great feel to it. It felt like one of those an older, fun 80s or 90s Christmas movie type feel to it. And Russell's just fantastic. Jim beat me up, Scotty. So, okay. It's Christmas Eve. Let's say we're gonna go. They just showed It's a Wonderful Life. Commercial was really annoying. I mean, I've seen it a million times. I just have the video. I don't have the sound off, obviously. But what we were talking about this a little bit earlier. Anyone who has not yet, let me know what is a must-watch that you've either watched already or you're going to watch tomorrow. Before Christmas is up, you got to watch it. One or two, and some of you already mentioned some of them. So anyone else who has not yet, I want to see what you pick. Again, for me, of course, it's Blackadder's Christmas Carol. I'll be watching that again. Like I would watch it. That I watch every year. I've already watched the other things I watch every year, like the Justice League cartoon Comfort and Joy, Batman's animated series Christmas with the Joker, Batman Brave and the Bold, Christmas with the Secret Santas. There are a few other things I mix it up. Sometimes I like to, not every year, but I might this year. I might watch Star Trek 4. It was, but there's something about it because of when the time it was released. Even that new theme for it. I do watch Die Hard every now and then on Christmas, not every time. You should probably just take care of the whole Die Hard Christmas movie thing tonight. Kal-El says, yes, I only have one question, Cobby. What does Santa Claus need with a starship? Nice. So Sherry says Gremlins. Luis X Sparrow says White Christmas. Bubba Doom says Lethal Weapon. I love Lethal Weapon. I've watched it a million times, but every now and then it's fun. I mean, you can watch it around the years. Hey, Dave, what's up, buddy? Merry Christmas to you. You can watch it any time a year, but it's kind of fun to watch it at Christmas time. So that's the thing about Die Hard. I'm going to address that in a minute. The whole it being a Christmas thing. Captain Infinity says it's really not a Christmas movie. Was it? But the boy are planning to watch 300 tonight. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people. It's not necessarily Christmas themed, but they like to watch it at Christmas, Captain. So yeah, cool, good one. Wolfie said I watched Die Hard 2 the other day. That takes place after Christmas as well. Also a Christmas movie, and not anywhere as good as the first, but still, I actually love Die Hard 2, but I agree the first one's better. Victor Fontaine says, same here. The family always wants to watch White Christmas. So there you go. Maddie's daddy says, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the original, and Charlie Brown. Yeah. Oh my God. You know, I don't have those, and they've already run them. I mean, I need to see if I can find them streaming somewhere to watch them. I love them. Deathway, that's true. Shane Black does like to make his movies around Christmas time. I've noticed. You're right. Yes, lovely Sherry. How the Grinch Stole Christmas is greatness. Catman Keith Myers says Miracle on 34th Street, original Die Hard, Scrooge. Scrooge the original. Yep. I also like Scrooged with Bill Murray. That's a fun one. Ernest Saves Christmas from Pleasant Valley Picker. Jim Varney was an underrated comedic genius, I think. I watched Spirited Away. I feel like I'm Spirited twice. I feel like I'm shilling for it, but it's not often you get a good new Christmas movie musical, Scrooge, says Louise X. Sparrow. That's a movie called Spirited. I don't know that one. I'm afraid I don't know that one, Louise X. Sparrow. I don't know if I've heard of that one. Little Drummer Boy says Hungry Boy. Well, I've got the house to myself. I'm going to watch Harry Potter and the DS9 episode, The Visitor, says Bubba Doom. Dude, we just reviewed The Visitor. Brilliant, brutal, heartbreaking, but in a good way and in a terrifying way. Great episode, though. Bubba Doom, I hear you. Just Joe says Invasion USA is more of a Christmas movie than Lethal Weapon. Hey, Simply Steve 64. It's been a dog's age, buddy. Welcome and Merry Christmas. Raquel's not here with us tonight, Simply Steve, but I will tell her that. And Merry Christmas to you, my friend. It's good to see you. Wolfie says, Die Hard 2, nothing says Xmas like Chief O'Brien slamming a 747 into the tarmac at Dulles because Section 31 Agent Sloan told him to. Wow. And he beamed him up at the last second. That's what you're trying to say? Pleasant Valley says so many Christmas movies on my list. I'll be watching through the week. Well, there you go. Larry, yes, Spirited Away is an animated film, but I believe Louise is referring to a film called Spirited. And by the way, Larry, Merry Christmas. Good to see you, my friend. Scrooge 1970 was a classic every year growing up. Love that movie, says Retro Nerd Girl. Yes. Okay, Louise X Sparrow says, let's see. This thing's going slow on me. Spirited is on Apple TV Plus. It's a modern Christmas Carol with Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds. Okay, I've not seen that. I didn't know that. I forgot that's what it was called. So you like that one then? Good. I got you. Lisa says, no shows or movies from me this Christmas, just listening to Christmas music while on YouTube. That's fair. Love it. Excellent. Excellent. YouTube's got all kind of fun stuff there for sure. Let's see. Bop. Oh yeah, the Muppet Christmas Carol. Maddie said he loves that. I think I'll probably watch a Doctor Who Christmas special. Oh, you know what? As some of you may or may not know, I stream so much now. Either when I do my 4 shows a week. I'm on Midnight's Edge After Dark a couple times a week. I'm on I go on the Geekery on Sunday nights usually, although there won't be one tomorrow night. So there's not a day that has not gone by, not one, in the past few months. Not a complaint, I'm just saying it, that I have not streamed on somewhere in something. Many times it's twice I've streamed, twice in one day is not unusual. So tomorrow is the first day I don't have any streaming planned at all. And since there won't be a Sunday night Geekery tomorrow night for Mark D with a C, I'll use that time to go watch some stuff, I guess. And I hope I'll be able to keep my commitment to not streaming tomorrow, because it'll be the first time I'll break my streak. Captain Infinity and Beyond says, Clobby, please pass on season's greetings to the good professor. Thanks to both of you for the most precious gift, fascinating pop culture points to ponder, and cheers. You're too kind to say that. Captain Infinity, thank you, buddy. That means the world to me, my friend. And thank you. And we need to just get together and talk about Shaken one of these days like we've been planning. And that's not on you, that's on me. And well, obviously, we live on separate sides of the world. That makes it difficult for streaming stuff. But anyway, you're too kind to say so, my friend, and I appreciate you. I lurk at your streams a lot when I'm not able to get into the chat because I'm doing other stuff, but I listen to you quite often. Please, and I'm pretty sure I have a link to Captain Infinity's channel in my description below. Please, everyone, subscribe to his channel. He has great conversation and fun himself, and he streams all over the place as well. He streams a lot. He's on a lot on his channel. Well, Gwagnar, thank you for being here, buddy. Merry Christmas to you and yours, my friend. And looking forward to see you again soon, buddy. Take care. Clobby is going gently down the stream. Yep. Gently. Gently, boy. Gently. Stuart says, the 1970 musical version of Scrooge with Albert Finney, also Lord Doomcock's favorite Christmas movie. Oh, yeah, he does love that one. Shout out to the great Lord Doomcock, my good friend. Let's see here. Just Joe says, for comedy in Living Color's Homie Christmas sketch, I don't think so. Homie don't play that. Not even on Christmas. I loved Homie. That was great. David Wayans was hilarious. Great stuff, Joe Jobber. Hey, Decepticon, my good friend. Merry Christmas Eve, everyone. It's about 3 minutes to Christmas over here. Wow. Well, Merry Christmas to you and yours, Sean. It's always good to see you, buddy. We got to get you on to do a comics review one of these days with J-Man and myself, man. Appreciate you. I hope Santa Claus brings you cool stuff. Santa Claus has already told me he's not bringing me anything. I already got a couple of. Minimus gave me a cool present. He gave me a Batmobile. It was a mini Batmobile that had a mini Adam West figure on it. That's really cool. Of course, it's the great, to me, the many, the Adam West Batmobile is the definitive Batmobile, and there are a lot of Batmobiles, so I love it. Kal-El says, Since tonight is normally Saturday Night Star Trek, I was wondering if you'd like to share the picture I sent you via Twitter DM today on the live stream. Your call, of course. Let me see which one it was again, buddy. What was that? I know you sent me one today. And as you know, as I predicted, my memory's sorry. If you hadn't reminded me, try to remember what it is. Looking for it now. Like I said, my internet is really, really slow and wasted. Let's see. Let me get to it, bud. Where are you? Have yourself a clubby little Christmas. Unwrapping, finding a picture. Where, man, this is so. Sorry, this thing is really going slow on me. All right, let's see here. Sorry about that, man. It's just, I'll find it. I'll get to it. I'm glad you reminded me, though, because with my Garbaggio memory, you know. Let's see here. All right. I think I finally got it. Oh, my picture still haven't even loaded yet. I'm not, that's how bad my memory is. I see. There you go. I do have an answer for that, as a matter of fact. I thought about that. Now I see it. I think I have an answer. I don't know if it'll be a good one or not. There we go. Finally took the load. Boy, that takes forever. Yeah, but let's get rid of Santa because, man, this thing's going slow. Sorry, Santa. All right. Oh, thank you, Larry. Larry, yes, Purple Valkyrie was wonderful with her Doctor Doom. She's the ultimate Doctor Doom. I really had a wonderful time hanging out with Purple Valkyrie the other night on the show with me. I always love it when she comes on to hang out. It's very late over there when she does, but she's just wonderful and very beautiful of her to do that. I love her. So here we go. Sent to me by the great Kal-El. He's got, of course, the great Christopher Reeve, the great Superman there. Tricycle is assembled now wrapping a wallet so my 2-year-old will stop taking mine and losing the credit card. Oh, she lost the credit cards? Dude, her. Wow. Okay. It says not a meme, but could the transporter dematerialize Superman? My answer is probably Steve, because Kal-El, because remember, the Justice League satellite had transporters or teleporters that worked, I think, on the same principle as the Enterprise's transporters. I don't know for sure, but Superman can be teleported just because he has a different molecular structure and it's denser. I understand your question, but I'm going to say yes. I mean, that's one of the funny things about DC. Marvel kind of did it too, but DC Earth, they've got the satellite with transporters and all that stuff. It's funny, those writers back then in the Bronze Age in particular, they all watched Star Trek. And they just said, well, why can't the Justice League have transporters? Well, I mean, okay, sure. I mean, obviously they got alien tech all over the place, so, and they're alien, so I guess that's probably what it is. So I'm going to say yes. Superman can beam places. He can fly places, but he can beam places. He can beam all over the place. At least via the Justice League satellite at 23,000 feet or whatever it is. So what say ye, Kal-El? The transporter had a tough time with the cellophane S. Oh, Keely Chow, roll tide. And how about them Cowboys? Let's see here. Merry Christmas to you, Keely Chow. Good to see you, my friend. He says, I didn't create this image, but I thought it was an interesting question. Yes, it is, actually. I've thought about such things as well. Yes, Superman used the JLA transporter from time to time. They were Thanagarian based. True, Phantom Outsider. So, yeah. Yes. The answer is yes. Stuart Mitchell, you were talking earlier about I need to find that $6 Million Man Christmas episode. If that's on Tubi or something, I ought to track it down. Because I saw you talking about that earlier. I go, yeah, that's cool. I need to watch that. And it had Maskatron in it. That's right. Played by John Saxton, as you mentioned. But, Maskatron was more like the name of the toy. I don't think they ever called him Maskatron on the show. Did they? I think they only called the toy that. Indeed, Lisa, that is a great shot of the great Christopher Reeve as his extraordinary, just so great as Superman. So great. Let's see here. All righty then. So, oh man. At least you don't have to get up early tomorrow for Christmas. Here's a weird thing where I live down here. It's I didn't need it to be this freeze, and I certainly didn't want the whole country to get frozen. Although, hey, I think my buddy Steve out there, out on where he is, he's not getting the bad weather. But for the most part, a lot of people are getting uncharacteristic bad weather for this time of year, even in the north. Down here, it's rare to even get a mildly chilly Christmas. I think last year Christmas was it was in the 60s or 70s, or it was muggy in the 80s or something, 80 degrees. So I always hope we have a nice cold Christmas, in the 40 degrees range, maybe, just so it can feel like like it should, kind of Christmassy. We don't get white Christmas down here. We're still not going to get any snow down here. It's going to get down to the teens. We get no snow. As old as I am, I've only gotten snow down here a couple of times in my life. But I didn't need it to be this cold. At least it's a dry cold. We're not going to have problems with the roads or anything. I don't know with it. And so I know, and whereas many of you, my wonderful friends up north, you're all having to shovel snow and all that horrible crap. And I feel sorry for you. I hope your Christmas isn't wrecked by this. So we're just getting some unusually cold, wet temperatures. I mean, right now it is, what is it? And this is big for down here. It's 28 degrees. That's crazy down here. I know, Steve, you know how that is. That's crazy for us. And, it only happens rarely. So this is kind of a strange thing. Lisa says, 8 degrees here and very windy. It is a heat wave from -5. Oh, wow. I don't know where you are, Lisa, but yeah, I mean, it would almost never, it's almost never gotten that low here. I mean, if it has, it's so rare. It's crazy because I'm almost as far as the middle of the country. And I'm not in Florida, but the middle of the country, the dead center, as close to as south as you can get by a couple hours. Decepticon said, Kenner pulled a Kenner and just named characters themselves. Hammerhead, Walrus Man, etc. will forever be those characters' names to me, and AT-AT will always be phonetic. I must have caught you on the other. You were having a conversation about some figures or something. But yes, you talking about like that was You were talking about Maskatron, of course. Yeah, they just named it because I remember when he fought John Saxton, the robot guy. They didn't give him a name, but they had that real long slow motion fight. Upper Midwest, Lisa, I got you. Well, I'm the deep south here, so we don't get that kind of weather much. Kal-El says, I would tend to agree with your answer, Clobby. It stands to reason that the transporter can record its pattern, just like any other alien that can be beamed via the transporter. Yeah. That's pretty much about it. Steve, give or take a few hours. It's not pretty. Southern La Oceania. So yeah. DJ Ronnie G has returned. Hey there. Yeah. So anyway. So you say there, Keely Chow says, I missed the DC and Ghostbusters toys and action figures from Kenner. Maybe you'll get some for Christmas this year. Maybe Santa Claus will bring it. I know, like I said earlier, they've got these new retro releases of the old Kenner Mego. Not Kenner. The old Mego dolls. DJ Ronnie G, thank you for joining as a member. Good to see you. I appreciate that. Welcome, sir. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I think that deserves a. Let's see, I can't see what level. I'll have to check the chat. Let's see. Huh. Well, let me see. I'll upgrade. I'll update my chat and see what level that was. It doesn't matter what level it is. I'm just glad to have you here. But it's my. Oh man, my slowed up on the other window. Darn it! Bloody hell! So one of the richest could tell me what the level is. There we go. Gotcha. Because so I could give you your proper shout out. Let's see here, and this is for you. Thank you for joining,
It's
sir.
Clobberin time.
Thank you, D-Bud. Appreciate that, brother. It's just that this thing, StreamYards, it does a couple of things. First of all, it does show, it's so ridiculous. It shows, for example, when someone joins as a member, right? On the other hand, when someone, and it has happened sometimes, like Eric and Cardinal have given gift memberships, right? It doesn't show you that. It doesn't tell me. If someone doesn't tell me that happens, then I don't know about it. Why? Who knows? Or as the great critical thinker says, don't know. Why would it tell me the one thing but not the other? I never knew that Maskatron was based on John Saxon, Clobby. Well, Stuart, that is my supposition or an extrapolation, because he's the one that kept having the different masks and stuff. And so I was pretty sure he was based on that robot. Could I swear it to you on a stack of $6 Million Man DVDs? No. But I do believe so. All I know about that toy is it's one of the pains of my childhood. I never got the $6 Million Man toy or any of the other ones in that line. And I love that show so much. Brian Hepburn, what's up, buddy? And he says, yeah, Merry Christmas, Brian. Good to see you. It's one of the faces. It is one of the faces is even based on Saxons. Okay. Yeah, I mean, that was just, I was figuring, but maybe, my memory's not remembering exactly why I thought it back then even. All I know is I never got that toy and I was pissed off. Not just Basketron. I never got any of them. Now, a buddy of mine at the time, I'd ride my bike way, way over to his house. And we'd go do, when we go, in addition to all the other stuff we would go do on our bikes, I always wanted to go in there and mess around with the he had the $6 million man figure, and that's the only time I ever got to see it in person. And I was mad because back then, if you were a kid my age when that show first came on, I guess I was. You have to give me a ballpark year, but it was it 73, 74. The movie started coming on in 73 or whatever. So I was, I was 8, 9, I was 9, 10 years old, somewhere up in there. That was, look, that was must-see TV. That was gospel. $6 Million Man, that was it, man. We were so in love with that show. Yes, Kal-El, I do too. Kal-El says, I love Critical Drinker videos. His commentary is some of the best and funniest content on YouTube today. Yes, he is. He's fantastic. Love that guy. Yeah, he says Critical Drinker is a cold weather guy. It'll be fine. Yeah, he's great. He's great. Okay, yeah, Classic Comics also says, yeah, John Saxon was Maskatron. At least that's how I understood it. When his face came off on the show, revealing the machinery beneath, I was totally freaked out. Me too. But I was like, oh man. How about that long ass fight scene he has in slow motion with Maskatron and that music? I'll never forget it. Boom, 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 boom. Well, I mean, what did the fight last 20 minutes? Boom, 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 boom. And you got those sound effects. Oh my God. I love it. Retro Nerd Girl, right there with you. $6 Million Man was one of my favorite shows too when it aired. Love it. You're right from my era there. Speaking my language there. That was you didn't miss it if you knew what was good for you, because we loved it. Oh my goodness. Keely Chow. I did watch The Bionic Woman. I personally, being a young boy, I would still watch it because it was related to the $6 Million Man. But I think after the second or so season, I may have stopped watching it a little bit. I'm not sure though, because it's funny you mentioned that. I just started watching a show. I don't know if any of you have ever watched Warehouse 13. I used to watch it. I only saw a couple episodes a while back. Back when it first came on 20-something years ago. But now I'm binging it, and I'm binging Warehouse 13, and Lindsay Wagner's actually on that show a little bit. So she, as are a bunch of Star Trek people. Lisa says, oh, yes, Steve Austin loved when they crossed over with Bionic Woman Retro Nerd Girl. Yep. Of course, Bionic Woman started on that show, spun off from it. Jamie Summers was my middle school hero. Oh, loved it. Hungry said, oh, I watched all 5 episodes. I mean, episodes of Warehouse 13, or you mean seasons? Oh, all but 5 episodes. I'm sorry. I wasn't looking closely. My bad. I watched all but 5 episodes of where. Oh, okay. I got you. Well, I think I'm on season 3 right now or whatever. I just got through binging Eureka, Louise. I couldn't get anywhere else 13, even for the crossover episodes, says Louise. Yeah, they weren't that much in the way of crossovers either. I know but I just binged Eureka about a month ago, because I'd seen it sporadically before, and really, really just had a great time. I was really bummed out after I got through, binging Eureka, because it's over, and I really enjoyed binging that. And then I moved on to Warehouse 13, and you said you couldn't get into it. I'm really enjoying it. It's very different, but it's got great characters. Look, by today's standards, you wouldn't call it super woke, but there's some dumb stuff they put in there that would be the equivalent of Holly woke back then. That gets a little annoying, but you put up with that stuff, or you can't ever watch anything. So I really enjoyed it. I really am enjoying it, I should say. You know, I put up with that stuff because it's still a great show, very well written. It has its flaws, but I really am, like I said, really loving it. It's always fun to go back since most stuff is so bad these days. To go back and catch something that you didn't pay much attention to before, or you for whatever reason didn't attract your attention. You may have watched it sparingly, and now after all these years, that's happened to me a few times over the past few years. Something I didn't think I would really like much, or just didn't for whatever reason didn't watch, and go back now and go, oh yeah, I'm glad that's still a possibility because the stuff even I have not watched. So I then, but binging is evil. I'm gonna tell you something. Binging's not good for you. It's like eating two M&Ms or anything like that. But it's gotta because you get on this binge high, you really love it, and this especially if it's a short-lived show. Then it's over, and you're like, oh man, now it's over. I should have made it last longer, but I couldn't. I kept wanting to watch it. Where else are to that fantastic secondary character said yes, indeed. Stuart Mitchell said the best shows on television then were The $6 Million Man, The Incredible Hulk, and The Amazing Spider-Man Show with Nicholas Hammond. I know I say it all the time, but I actually had Nicholas Hammond on my show back in 2012 over on BTR. Nice fellow. What else? Something was often anti-woke, says Hunger Boy. Some of it though was a little bit of wokety. It wasn't. No, yeah, I mean, it was often by today's standards. Like I said, by today's standards, it would trigger some people. No question about it. But it has some stuff in there. It's like, oh, really? But I still not enough to put me off. I love the show. Love the show. I'm really enjoying it. DJ Ronnie G says, I kind of ruined Babylon 5 for watching it too much in too short a time. Still love it. Yeah, I love Babylon 5 also, DJ Johnny. But I know what you're saying, because when you're able to watch them anytime you want, you don't savor them as much. The same, although it's when you have to wait, it sucks too. I'm not sure which is worse. It's complicated. But I do know that when you really like a show like that and you've got, if you got, you'll watch a couple and you go, I got time for one more. It's only 2 a.m. JT Kirk says, my doctor told me binge eating and drinking were the keys to a long life. Well, that's a fair cop. It's a fair cop, but society is to blame. I agree. We'll be charging them too. Steven says, Kyle says, even almost every show I've watched over the past 10 years has some woke garbage in it. The problem is, it's gotten much worse leading up to what we have put up with today. Yeah, see, there's the thing about that. You're right. Hollywood's been doing that crap for 60 some odd years. The thing is, they had a lot of people who were still good artists and talented people that still wanted to tell good stories, and it wasn't completely 100% agenda, so you just ignored it. If they put some stuff in there that you didn't like, that you knew was trying to be propaganda, but it didn't overcome the overall film or episode or whatever, I would go, well, yeah, I might shake my head sometimes. I might go, roll my eyes going, oh, God, really? But still, I love this movie, even though it has that in it. Or I love this show, even though it has that in it. And I wish we were there. I wish we were still there again, instead of them absolutely ruining things because of agenda. So just, I don't do that on this show that often, but I just thought I would mention it. Believe me, it does not ruin Warehouse 13 for me. I really do enjoy it. Agreed, Lisa. The theme music from $6 Million Man and Bionic, $6 Million and Bionic are iconic too. You hear it and you know it. That's right. Hungry says, the only time I binged anything was when I was scared the show was going to be pulled off a site platform. Yeah, I hear you. Aside from that, I like watching 2 episodes per night at most. That's a good policy. Luis X Sparrow says, have you tried For All Mankind? I have not. I've heard it mentioned. Is that a Ronald D. Moore show, or maybe that's a different one I'm thinking of? So I don't think I know much about it, but I've just heard the title Louise. So no, I don't know of it. Yeah, Steven? Oh, I binged the hell out of Cobra Kai, man. It didn't last long around me. When a new season pops up, I'm done in a day or two, max. They're only 10 episodes, but you know. Hammond was great as the Western director in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Really full of energy, funny lines. Wow, I've never been able to see that. I need to see it. Fanty says there's an old BBC show available on YouTube called My Hero. It's a comedy about an alien from the planet Ultron called the Thermo Man. I've heard of it. Minimus has told me about it. I don't think I have not seen it yet. Death Ray says had the original Battlestar Galactica toy ships that fire missiles that could shoot your eyes out at the time. Yes, and it got taken off the market for a kid choked on one of those missiles, and it made them panic like Panicky Pete's. Let's see here. Oh, Retro Nerd Girl has to run. Hey, Retro Nerd Girl, thank you for being here tonight. Have a wonderful rest of Christmas. I'm talking like it's over on it's not even Christmas yet. That's technically, but Merry Christmas to you. Thank you for being here, my dear. I hope you have you and yours have a fantastic Christmas. Thank you. Let's see here. Ronald D. It's Ronald D. Moore. It's an alternate history of the space race and really good. Okay. Louise X. Sparrow, thank you for that. I didn't know much about it. I heard the name and that was about it. So thank you. Decepticon says Linda Carter's Wonder Woman always lectured about man's world. There was still character, story, personality flaws, and adversity to surmount, and a reason to root for her. What wouldn't have happened today? Yes. And there's the thing about Warehouse 13, which again I really like it a lot. For example, without being too spoilery, one of the villains is H.G. Wells, and H.G. Wells was really a woman. They do look. This show is co-created by Jane Espenson, who used to work on Buffy and Firefly and Angel. She's a good writer, but she brings a lot of that kind of crap to the show. They have goofy stuff like the show's mostly women, which is fine. I don't mind that. They're all beautiful and feminine and fantastic, and they're well written. They do silly stuff like that. It's definitely the guys are all goofballs. I mean, they're great characters themselves, at least. Pete and Artie are great characters, but they're still. You can see the supremacy where it's coming from in terms of what these characters are, the way it's written. It's still a good show, and they're still great characters. And I love the female characters on it as well. Don't get me wrong, but there are times with the writing, like I see what you're doing here. I can't. I mean, if even back then, if I'd watched it closer, I would have been able to see that. It's still way better than today. Not saying that, but it's there, and they'll have things where like a 110, 120 pound woman's throwing 200, 300 pound dudes all over the place. Marty Noxon is way more talented than Patty Jenkins. I would agree with that, Kaylee Chow. Marty Noxon was a good writer. I don't know what she's done lately, but yeah. But I would agree with that, yeah. I love the chick. The lady who plays H.G. Wells, the chick. I was going to say because I'm old and I'm sexist, I guess. Hey, Thomas Ledwick, Merry Christmas to you. Welcome here. I don't know if I've seen you here before, but Merry Christmas to you. They do cringy things sometimes that on the show. But what are you going to do? It's still this is a show now that's not. Let's see, it's about 12, 13 years old now. I think it ended about 12, 13 years ago. It's not completely infected with the kind of crap that it would be today. They do and say things today that they wouldn't say today. They wouldn't get away with. They sure as hell wouldn't even get away with that cast today. It wouldn't be diverse enough today. with the cast that I wouldn't think, right? But today with that cast, which is a really good cast, do you think it would be diverse enough for today? No, I look. I totally hear you. I hear you, Hungry Boy. You're absolutely right, bro. And by the way, Monday night, I'm gonna finally just tear Tripwire a new one. I'm gonna go after him. I'm gonna trip Tripwire. I'm gonna trip Monday night because I care that much, and it'll be. I'm doing this for you. Well, I am. I mean, no, that's sincere, man. I'm trying to find the picture. Where's my bloody picture? Uh, uh, um. Oh, there you are. Okay. All right, D. Bud Martin. Thank you, buddy, for being here with us tonight, man. I really appreciate all you do. Thank you so much, my friend. Merry Christmas to you, sir. The great Ridge of Iron. I hope you and your whole family have a fantastic Christmas, buddy. Thank you so much. Appreciate you, pal. Let's see. All right, so yes, by the way, yes, Hungry Boy, I'm going to dedicate this one to you. Monday night, Mike C. Comic Talk. I'm going to take them down. Keely Chow says Buffy the Vampire Slayer is awesome. I agree. I love the show. And it didn't have that much feelings compared to some of the DC shows. It was way. I hope CW never redoes it. What's going on, Lord Thoth? How are you and the lovely Lady Thoth doing tonight, man? I know I've seen you pop up during. I hope you're having a great night, buddy. Hope you are doing well. Yes, Hungry Boy. I'm gonna take him to the woodshed. Tripwire is gonna trip its way to the woodshed. Oh, I'm okay. I'm okay. You know, Lord Thoth. I'm having fun hanging out with everybody. Christmas. I mean, I don't know why, but I do love this time of year. I don't really do much. I mean, you know, it's just me. But I'm hanging in there. I just love the whole feel of the season. Always have. I try not to be a Scrooge about it. Yes, there will be some wrath going on, Lisa. You can guarantee that. No Swan Trimpy, no Jerry, no Joe Schuster. There are a lot of. I'm gonna basically call them out for the omissions and their placement. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. But pretty good, man. Like I say, these days, all I can say is if you're still kicking and you're still breathing, that's what you be thankful for that and celebrate the people you love for Christmas. Stargate SG-1 will soon be officially ruined. Oh no, says JT Kirk. Amazon is taking scripts and bad reboots submitted some. Oh boy. After the expansion, zero faith from those folks. Oh my goodness, that's horrible. Feel bad for you there, brother. I know what you mean though. They ruin everything, man. They really do. They dump on everything, bro. It's just we can't have. This is why we can't have nice things. Seriously. This is why it just, I don't know. It's just disgusting. Louise X Sparrow has to run. Got to head to bed. Good night. Merry Christmas to you, Louise. It's lovely to have had you stop by and hang out with us. I really appreciate it. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your night and a great Christmas tomorrow. Merry Christmas to you. Did I give you the great a compliment? Hey, Maddie's daddy, did I give you a great compliment? I don't know. Did I? Maddie's daddy, you should come hang out with me tonight, man. I mean, you're welcome to come hang with me if you feel like it, but I know you're probably busy and tired. But there's no geekery tomorrow night, so I'll be probably getting out of here in a little while. But yeah. So yeah, we do get nice things. We get more than 3 Clobby. Oh, you're too kind, buddy. Okay. Invite headed your way, duder. Just hang tight for a second. Just hang loose, blood. She's going to catch you up soon on the. Hey, what it is, big bone? Mama did raise no dummy. I dug a rap. Cut me some slack, Jack. Hey, but jive ass turkey. Don't get no brains anyhow. I don't know what made me think of that. Sorry. I gotta find you, Steve. It's been a while since I've sent you a message, and my ass book is going really slow on me here, so bear with me. Bop 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 bop. I know you're here somewhere though. Been a while. Where is Steve? Where is Steve? Man, has it been that long since I've had you on, dude? Has been a while, hasn't it? I've got a quicker way to find you. Sorry, everyone. I know it's scintillating, but I got to find. There we go. Easy way. Come on. Okay. More like it. I am sending you a link now, Steve-O. And now it should be finally populating over at your Facebook. There you go. Well, you got the link there, brother. So, sorry, everybody. Yes, I do speak jive. Yeah. I love that movie. I need to watch that again. Cool, bro. At your leisure. No hurry. They ruin everything, though. Like Captain Affinity says, he loved The Expanse for 3 seasons, and they just apparently just destroyed it. Chump don't want to help. Chump don't get no help. Jive ass turkey ain't got no brains anyhow. Mrs. Cleaver. You're really looking very lovely today, Mrs. Cleaver. Bang. Yep. Oh, so while we're waiting on the great Maddie's daddy to join us for a bit, yeah. What else is going on with you guys? So let's. It's a big building with patience, but that's not important right now. Yes, I know. I have lasagna. So what was I doing? I had something. Well, we'll get to it when he gets there. Yeah, so Hungry Boy, you're more it's very short notice, I understand that. If you want to hang while I'm doing that list, by the way, Monday night, you are welcome to pop in at any time if you just let me know. If you want to be there for it. If not, I understand it's going to be a bloodbath. and you may not have the blood pressure for it, but I would be honored to have you here. I want to, but only if you can. Only if you feel like it, brother. Man, oh man. Tim Stuck on your left. What's up, dude? Merry Christmas. Good to see you there, buddy. Merry Christmas, Mr. Potter. And Happy New Year to you in jail. Merry Christmas, you old savings and loan. Well, Hungry Boy, brother, I will, Monday night, I shall send you the link, my friend. Keely Chow, I'm going to be talking about, there's something I've been talking about for over a year and a half now. That's a countdown list of the greatest comic artists of all time. And they finally finished this past week. And I don't like it, or I don't like the way they put it together. And so I've been ripping in a new one for about a year and a half now, whatever it has been. And I'm gonna go ahead and just finish up. I'm gonna fix their damn list for them. It's the least I can do. So yeah, it's a comic book geek thing, Like I say, Monday night is for the comics. Monday night, Mark C. Comics Talk. Wednesday nights for Anything Goes. Wednesday night, then Thursday night's the Clubhouse, and Saturday night, once we get the new season, the new year started again, will be Saturday night Star Trek. What I'll probably do next Saturday night, I'll probably start the show a couple hours late, and that way I can count down to the new year like I did I didn't do that last year. Did I do it last year? Sorry. Did I do that last year? No, he didn't. Of course not, because it was a freaking Friday night. No, you didn't. Retro Blasting. Merry Christmas, my great friends at Retro Blasting. Michael and Melinda, thank you so much for being such great friends. I would not be here without these fantastic, unbelievably great friends at Retro Blasting. They have, of course, a wonderful channel. And if you have not subscribed to Retro Blasting, what are you doing? Please do. Everyone here probably has, but if you have not, please find the link and go to them. So, Keely Chow, Kirby was number 1. And Neil Adams, was number 3. In the early portion of the list, some of the placement's a little wonky, but I don't have, with some exceptions. My problem is way back on the list, they've got some people way too low, and there are about 2 or 3, or maybe even 4 glaring omissions that should be on the list before some of the other jerks that they put on. Shouldn't say jerks. I don't think they're fine. But apparently these people don't really know anything about comic book art. Placement is curious. This is not a favorites list where people are just picking their favorites. They're saying the greatest comics artist of all time. They're parsing their words so they can include some comic book artists and some comic strip artists. Merry Christmas. It's Courtney, Fellowship of Oddballs. Hey, Courtney, good to see you, my dear. But they got Kirby right, but they just have exactly. Hungry Boy. Reason why I'm taking them to task, opinions are fine, but Kane and Perez were feloniously, as he puts it, I like that, low. You have a list of the greatest comic artists of all time, and you have Gil Kane at 54. You don't know what you're talking about. You had George Perez at 46. You don't know what you're talking about. You have Alex Toth at 60. You don't know what you're talking about. It's just that simple. You leave Kurt Swan off of it completely. You leave Joe Shuster off of it. And you put a lot of some fine but obscure Golden Age artists. You're going to tell me that any of these Golden Age artists were more significant, than Joe Shuster? I don't think so. Oh, I just figured out another one. Hungry Boy, they left Dick Sprangoff and I think Shelley Moldoff and Joe Giella. I mean, but some of the people they put on there, I'm like, wait a minute. What? Yeah. So the top 10 is not too bad. Number 2 is a head scratcher, but that would be correct. Keely Chow, Joe Shuster did co-create Superman, but he was also a fine artist, and beyond that as well for a good while. But that's enough. That should be enough to get you somewhere on the list right there. Pretty much. I'm sort of seeing you there, Steve. If you're hearing me, it says device is not connected. They will need to connect the mic and cam before you can add them to the stream. It says, if you're hearing me, buddy. Keely Chow, I'm not a big McFarlane fan, but he is on the list. So if that means something to you, then there you go. I have people I would have on that list before him, in my personal opinion, but that's neither here nor there. He's on there. Oh, there you go, buddy. But he's at least so low down, it doesn't bother me. Hey, Maddie's daddy, Steve Mitchell. What's up, brother?
Greetings.
Thanks for coming on.
How are you? Oh, thank you for having me, and Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you. It's good to hear from you.
Before I forget, the thing that you said that was the best compliment I ever had, and you have to excuse my voice. I'm a little sick, so I sound like
shoot.
I sound like I'm about to make you an offer you can't resist, or you can't refuse. The greatest compliment you gave me was after you met Maddie, and you were on. It was on one of the streams, and you said, and I said, I'm the luckiest guy in the world to have Maddie for a daughter, which is true. And you said that Maddie is also lucky to have such a loving father. And
she is.
That is just the most wonderful thing that you could have possibly said. So,
well, it's heartfelt, dude. I mean, everyone knows. I mean, a lot of us are fathers. How many people are just as like you? I mean, you even make your just the fact that it sounds a little, but you make your name on here, Maddie's daddy. You're such a proud father. She's your whole life, man. And I relate. I feel that way about my kids, and your kid, she is lucky, big time, man. I mean it. And so, yeah.
Well, thank you. That it is such an honor. I always say it's an honor to be her dad, but it's an honor to hear such great things. And that's all I need for Christmas this year. So, thank you.
You got it, buddy. Well,
I
glad to have said
that.
it.
So, especially coming, from a fellow dad. I mean, I remember when your daughter, whose name I won't mention on the air because I don't know if that's kosher or not. I remember when she was in a crib, before your son was born.
Yeah.
Thank you again for that, Clobby. And this has been such a great year because got to meet such great people. I think I actually met Mark D with a C last year, but we became I consider us friends.
Yes.
This year. And of course, Hungry Boy and D Bud, Stuart Mitchell, and the whole cast of great Chris Persia and such great people. Of course, Courtney. How can I forget Courtney?
Hey, Courtney.
So it's been a great year. Who just said hi, Thor? I didn't.
Courtney.
Hi, Courtney.
Courtney says hi. Merry Christmas, Courtney.
Merry
Hope
Christmas.
You're doing well, dear.
I've been sick for a month.
Watching doggies.
Courtney, so yeah. Oh, nice.
Three doggies. I'm watching. I wanted everyone to know that Hungry Boy made my avatar. I love it. Thanks, HP. Oh, that is. Nice. I can't see it well there, but I'm sure everyone. I don't know if everyone else can see it better when I put it on there, but you can probably see it. But I have my settings are weird or something.
Could you throw it up again? Could you throw it up again for a second, Clobby?
Yeah. I need to change my. Settings or something.
It's a female figure, but the details are.
I've seen it in my. I think she put a picture of it somewhere where I could show it. I can go find it in my Twitter thingies because it's really cool.
Well, if Hungry Boy did it, it's amazing because.
Well, he's great.
I usually feel pretty good about my art skills and knowledge until he comes around. It's it's sort of like the local bully, when Bruce Lee walks in the door.
Yeah. Well, here. I think I have a picture. I have where I can show it. And this, man, you know what? I might start guessing at your style, buddy.
Clobby could figure it out.
I don't know.
You know the good thing. Sorry, go ahead.
I don't know. You know that I'm just saying. Have you ever seen John Byrne and Hungry Boy in the same place? No,
oh, that was fighting words. Well, I don't know.
Whoa.
John Byrne.
I didn't say Don Perlin.
John Byrne was a great artist, and even as a writer, and I know you don't like a lot of things that he did, but and spoiler alert here, when he did do Man of Steel, he had Batman figure out a way to beat Superman that didn't require magic or kryptonite. It just required brains. Do you remember what I'm talking about, Clobby?
Oh yeah, issue number 3. Yeah, here we go.
Yeah. Oh wow!
I'm just saying, and I wasn't saying it looked like Byrne. I was just throwing a name out there to mess with him because I didn't want to insult him by saying, you never see Don Perlin and Hungry Boy. You never see Vince Coletta and Hungry Boy in the same place. Well, he's in trouble.
That's a nice image of Courtney. I mean, I can't speak to the body.
It's beautiful.
Or the bass clef tattoos, but
Joan Jett, 1981. I love it. This is beautiful. Beautifully done.
I hate myself for loving Joan Jett. Actually, Clobby, you once commented that my girlfriend at the time, the really wealthy one, you said she looks like Joan Jett. Do you remember this? I can't mention her name. I don't remember saying that. You did, yeah. And I was like, wow, hey, Clobby's actually right, yeah. Anyway,
really?
You know what's good about having this weird voice temporarily?
No.
Is today I was singing to Maddie, "You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch."
Mr. Grinch.
And I normally couldn't get that low with my
healed. Yes.
You're as cuddly as a cobra. You're as charming as an eel, Mr. Grinch.
Well, that sounds perfect. Well done. See,
I wouldn't touch you with a 39.5-foot pole.
Oh, I love it. That's perfect. You did so exactly like it.
Yeah, I'll have to get sick again. I'll have to get sick again every Christmas so I can do that. So, thank you, Hungry Boy. Yeah, you're a great guy, great artist, great scholar. And I'm proud to semi know who you are. I won't try to guess who you really are in real person. First of all, my knowledge of artists is not as deep as Clobby's is. And
yet you know way more about art than I do, so it evens out. Mine just comics history crap. I don't know anything about art. I know the artists. So.
I've forgotten a lot about art since I became an animator because it's a different discipline. So I know more probably about animation and animators now. I mean, I can still tell, like that's Spidey's the Ross Andrew, etc.
Well, yeah, we can.
I can tell by the. I can tell by the knees.
I want to say goodbye to Lisa real quick.
Oh, is Lisa heading out?
Lisa, have a good one. Say hi to 70s at the hockey stream over there. Tell him, give him a Clobberin time shout out over there. Tell him we're Christmasing over here and wish him Christmas for us. I'll stop by over there later if I can. So she's going over they got the hockey stream going at our good buddy at 70s. So continue, nice. Sir. Sorry.
Well, you know what I was about to segue was to circle back to where you were when I came on, which is how Tripwire had left who was it? Not Gil Kane.
Kurt Swan.
The Batman artist that used to do the things
Dick
like
Sprang.
Dick Sprang.
Dick Sprang's not on there.
No matter what you think about his relative style, I mean, he was an illustrator, and he was going for broad comedy. He was a good pairing with the writing style at the time. You wouldn't really necessarily want, like, one of my favorite artists, Brian Boland. You really wouldn't want him on the type of stories that Sprang drew. But they also didn't have Joe Shuster.
Plus, if it was Brian Boland, you'd have to wait 40 years for one issue to come out. So.
But to me,
all he did was covers. But mostly.
Yeah. I mean, to me, I get that. He did take a long time, but does that diminish the quality of his work?
It doesn't. But when you have it done a lot, does that put him very, very high on a list when he's just mainly his claim to fame is covers, and there's very little interior work to sink your teeth into. His art's great, but is he a comic book artist? If like over 80% of his body of work is just covers. Would be
No, I get that. For me, though, that would still make him a great comic artist.
Oh,
I mean, in a way, you could say that the cover artist is the most important, because I know that I have bought covers where the artwork is great, and then you open it up and it's a completely different artist on the inside.
Oh, yeah,
we've both seen that. So,
and that happens all the time with bowling, because you buy a bowling book, 90% of the time you're not buying its interior.
Yeah,
if you know, bowling cover.
I think that if he had done nothing else other than, for me, than The Killing Joke and I
Camelot 3000.
Did he? Yeah. I mean, that alone to me would have said, boom, this guy, he gets his on the Walk of Fame.
Hey, whatever cast, welcome and Merry Christmas to you, my friend.
Oh, Larry.
Larry's yeah.
Yeah.
I talked to him. Yeah. See, here's the thing about that, Larry. I'll address that in a second. Whatever cast. Good to see you there, buddy. It's been a while. I hope you're having a wonderful Christmas, and hope you and yours have a fantastic Christmas day tomorrow. I'm honored to have you pop in, buddy. Yeah, Courtney's going over to the hockey stream again. Say hi to my buddy 70s over there. If I get a chance, I'll stop by and say hi to him. I don't know anything about hockey, but I'm glad he does that show, because he knows what he's doing. He knows what he's talking about there.
Hockey's the one on ice, right?
Yes, ice.
I'm just
and
kidding.
Boy, do we need more of that in the world right now. So no, see, here's the thing about Charles Schultz. He's not on the list. He only did, and he's not really, because he only did one thing, and it's his art, which really fits what he's doing. He's a true cartoonist.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's art. I mean, I don't know if he ever drew anything other than he did do some other stuff. He's sort of like Al Cap, or some of these other guys, or Johnny Hart, some of these other guys who just did one thing. There are some strip artists on this list, which we'll get into more detail Monday night.
Is Bill Waterston on it?
No.
That's interesting.
No, he's not.
He's a great artist.
He's a great artist. And
when you look at the fantasy sequences where he was illustrating dinosaurs or jet fighters or something, you could really see his draftsmanship. I mean, Hungry Boy, call me out if I'm full of it, man. But that's
no, he's good. Well, the only three artists that are known for their strips rather than their comic strip artists that I can think of on the list, and I'd have to double check it. I have my list in front of me, but Alex Raymond, Hal Foster, Bern Hogarth, they're all on there, and they're strip artists. They don't have Dan Barry on there, some of these other Stan Drake or any of those other guys. And the thing is, back then, back when comics, the first comic book, as everyone knows, again, was a bunch of comic strips compiled into a comic format. The very first one, Famous Funnies. But the thing is, it was a time for a good while now, in the 30s, into the 40s, into the 50s. The avant-garde were the comic strips, and they looked down on the comic book artists. You were slumming it if you were drawing comic books. If you could get a cushy syndicated comic strip gig, that was the thing. But if they had said comic book art, oh, guess who's here? Oh my God, we got a surprise visit.
Hey, Merry Christmas, everyone.
The great Mark D with a C. What's up, buddy?
Merry Christmas. But Merry Christmas. Yep.
Merry Christmas, Mark.
Thanks for popping in. I had no idea you were coming over.
Well, we got back from Grandma's house, packed the sleigh up with all the
cool
presents for tomorrow, and
Did you go over the river and through the woods?
Over the river through the woods, and we needed a sleigh tonight. Yeah, it's so cold.
By the way, I just want to say, absolutely, I love Brian Boland's Judge Dredd work. I'm not knocking it out at all. I love it. So I wanted to get that out there for you. But no, dude, well, good to see you, dude.
Great to see everyone. Yeah. Hail to the chat.
If you're wondering why I sound like I'm about to threaten you to swim with the fishies, I'm still sick, so I have this.
Well, we just got to stop hanging out too much, because I had been sick about the last month too. So
we're transmitting these computer viruses. Yeah,
you guys make me sick. No, I mean you make each other sick.
I was Mark. I was telling Clobby a little bit earlier that the good thing about being sick and having this weird voice, even though Maddie sort of was looking at me kind of weird, it gives you the ability to sing. You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch. You really are a heel.
Sounds good. That was pretty damn good.
Better than
That's
my
perfect.
better than my
It's
high
perfect.
pitched, nasally, whiny voice normally, right? I kind of wish I could keep the voice as a free gift, you know.
Yeah, it's perfect. Absolutely. So yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I was getting that and got sidetracked. I'm not saying Bolin never did any interior work. Most of it was for 2000 AD and Judge Dredd, and even that though, he was so slow that he would start out a story, a prog, do a couple of progs, and then have to get another artist in there like Escara and McMahon and all these other guys. So he didn't even finish. He did do Judge Death, which was one of the greatest Judge Dredd stories ever. But he didn't even. He was just not a guy that did a lot of interior stuff. Love his work. Love his work.
Well,
Yes.
I mean, you know, in the world of fine art, there are artists out there who are famous and did not do that much work. You know, on the other hand, you had like Da Vinci never finished a piece. You know, except maybe
Yeah.
the Last Supper, I think maybe. But yeah,
Did he finish the
but
Mona Lisa, or he was always still working on that?
yeah, no, that's that. I believe that's unfinished. Yeah.
There's
yeah, I mean-
allegedly a few different versions of that too.
And there are
People
famous
not sure.
famous classical Greek sculptors that we only know by a few pieces as well. So
Yeah.
so, but you know, again, that's just my opinion. Art is I won't say that art is subjective. I will say that what you what a person is drawn to in art is subjective. 'Cause,
It can be
you know, for
personal.
yeah, I mean, like Clobby is kind of an expert, although he doesn't know it, on comic book artists because even though he can't, and this is something that I really would like to explore one day, Clobby can't tell you why he can tell a Frank Springer from a Jose Luis Garcia Lopez. I think that if we talked about it one day, he could probably start to understand what it is his eye and his brain is picking up that differentiate. That's different for somebody like Claude or Hungry Boy or myself because we analyze these things and we're like, okay, how does this guy draw the knee? Perez always makes the vastus medialis really, really big. Whereas Jose Luis Garcia Lopez makes them very small. Or Garcia Lopez draws, as does Neil Adams, draws the hip, or if you go back to like the King of Wide Hips, well, John Byrne used to do it, but also Wayne Boring, you know, the hips were really wide and the legs were very thin. And then as you start to get through this stuff, you start to notice things that one artist does as opposed to another. Posing is one, you know. I think Clobby, if we looked at always the back leg of a flying or jumping character of Gil Kane, he always pointed the toe inward and showed the outer side of the calf, talking about for the leg that he has extended, and then, you know, with the other one being bent. So these are things that you guys, I think, know from seeing, but have never have thought about vocalizing it. Am I making any sense at all?
Yeah.
Or am I, okay.
No, absolutely. But I just want to say that Stephen Kal-El, if you're talking about that picture, is the one we talked about earlier. He said, by the way, Twitter DM earlier, you said he sent me a let's see, it's okay. By the way, it's okay if you haven't seen it yet, but I sent you something on Twitter DM earlier. Didn't we talk about that earlier, buddy? Was that the one you're talking about? Remember the Christopher Reeve pick about the teletransporter thingy? We did talk about that. Am I going crazy? Anyway, you heard me talking about that, I believe, Steve. Huh?
Yes, sir, I did.
You did? Okay, so I don't, unless you're talking about something else, that's all I can see there. But no, you know, I can say one.
Twitter's not to it yet.
One thing about what? Oh, talking to Mark. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. So one thing I'm about comic book art, I can say, Steve, is yes. Again, I know nothing about that because I can't draw them because I never studied it. But I do know what I do know about comic book art is I can tell you who is a good storyteller, who's good with structure, who's good with panel arrangement, and you know who are the dynamic. I can tell you things like that, but because from years and years of observing it and who's what when it comes to that sort of thing. But yes, the stuff you were talking about, I'll never grasp any of that.
No, I think you actually do grasp it. I don't think that you have realized on a conscious level what it is that you're picking up. That because you could tell at this point, you can probably tell better than I can because it's been so long since I bought I haven't bought anything regularly since you closed your shop. And then after that, once they went over $1, I didn't buy anything at all. I still, after you closed up, I would still buy an issue, 2 or 3 a year if something was good. Once they went over, I mean, I'm talking total. That's my total haul for the year would have been, 75 cents or something. And then, but after they went over $1, I just did it in protest because kids can't afford these anymore. So in that amount of time, I mean, I could still tell, the Gil Kanes and the is it pronounced Buscema?
Buscema.
I always thought it was Buscema, but you've heard him pronounce his name, so
right, yeah.
I've heard
I hate getting people's name wrong too.
Yeah, I've heard him pronounce it.
The Italian way would be Buscema, but that's probably not the way. It's like people.
That's the way he says it, but yeah,
it's like we say Falcone for Falcone.
I was just watching a couple of an interview with John Buscema that he did before he passed away, and he was talking about how because a lot of people keep throwing stuff out there like trying to get him to kind of discourage, basically disclaim Kirby, this, that, and he says, I learned from Jack. He said, let me tell you something, not just me. Everything I learned it from him. And I'm not talking about him, Jack, sitting down with him. I'm talking about him looking at Jack and studying Jack. He said, everybody else did too. Everybody in the business at that time, all of them, in terms of, he's talking about, of course, the superhero genre within which he worked, learned from Jack. Jack, from the point on where Jack started, and he'd worked at other things before, but from after about 1961 and going into the mid 60s with what he was doing with Marvel, everybody took their cues from him. And as Buscema said, and I'm telling you he was emphatic about it, everybody. And so that's a guy that admitted it. Hey, Dad, man. Merry Christmas.
Hey, Dad, man.
Merry Christmas, Dad, man.
Yeah. That doesn't mean everyone drew exactly like him.
Right.
It's just they, in terms of they approached the type of storytelling that no one, and sometimes they try to, some people emulated his style, but not as much. But he has been imitated in terms of style more than anybody. Like I said, I've mentioned this many times. One of my favorite mags that I have every issue of, the Jack Kirby Collector, has had a running. It's been coming out since the mid '90s. It's had a frequent or on a recurring feature called Kirby as a genre. And I'm like, if you look at it, if you read that how many different things he's inspired and it's been ripped, it's mind blowing. It's not just a guy who drew pictures. So many different things that he came up with, and as a genre, and I'm like, wow, how come he's just supposed to be just a guy who drew pictures, according to some people, but he did so much more.
I actually value him more as a creator than an artist. Not to say that I don't.
I will hear you.
Appreciate what he did, but I think, in terms of art, you could make different arguments about, and depending on what you like. For example, we were talking about Boland for realism. Trying to go for like photorealism. He's
right
with a line. Now people could bring up Ross and say, well, it's paint as opposed to a line. But then for action, Kirby was one of the early. He really pushed the boundaries for foreshortening and action and lines of action, but even he grew, because if you look at his like Captain America #1, pretty stiff, which everybody was back then, with the exception of in my opinion, the great artist that I always think is missed out. And I just lost his name. The guy that did Daredevil #1.
Well, that'd be Bill Everett.
Bill Everett. Yeah, Bill Everett.
Tiger Stripes.
But yeah, but
Merry Christmas.
Before
Merry Christmas, Tiger Stripes. Yeah.
Merry Christmas, Tiger Stripes. But you're getting back to the tripwire list. Joe Shuster wasn't even on the list, was he?
Nope.
I think that's like the art form of the whodunit was created by Poe, and it would be like, let's say that he did the worst whodunits ever, but he invented the genre. Joe Shuster didn't invent the genre, but in terms of superheroes as we think of them,
he co-created it.
Tights, tights and capes and muscles and stuff. Yeah, right. I mean he did. So I think
he has to be on that list somewhere.
Even if he sucked, which he did not,
Right.
And he grew a lot really fast. If you look at his early stuff and his later, he grew really fast. I think that alone earns him a place on the list.
Oh yeah. Oh look, and not only that, because if you look at the list, and I'm gonna be doing that Monday night in more detail. Some of the fine gentlemen that I have a lot of respect for, that were from the golden age, who were they're kind of not big names now. They did some pretty good work, but if I'm calling, they're using the term greatest, and I keep saying, if this were my favorite comic art, I have no problem with it. You're calling them the greatest, then that to me implies that you're talking about influence. The word influence cannot be taken out of each entry. In other words, how influential were they on the art form and the medium and the industry? And you leave off a guy like Joe Shuster when you have these other guys. God bless them. They were, but most of the stuff I saw, all the examples they show of their work, it's good stuff. Don't get me wrong, but it's nothing that stands out, that has standed the test of time, that go, that's a comic that everyone knows of 70 years ago, 70 years later. And that's something that has stayed with us for 60 and 50 and 40, whatever. It's good art. It's good stuff. I wish I could draw like that. But
Right.
Joe Shuster co-created something that will last until there is a civilization left on this planet.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I mean,
gets somewhere on the damn list.
To my way of thinking, not only did he deserve a huge piece of the Superman pie, as they were selling lunch boxes and underoos and movies and cartoons, etc., that he didn't get. I think that Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster should have. I can't save some for Monday Club. I think that Siegel and Schuster should get a slice of every superhero's pie. Anybody that's wearing tights and has muscles and has a secret identity. I think, and of course you could make an argument for Philip Wiley too.
Well, he should have, of course. Yeah.
Yeah. What he described in his, and you've read it, you guys have read his book.
Oh yeah.
Gladiator. I mean, he described Hugo Danner as wearing a circus strongman's or acrobats tights with the shorts. People call them underwear. I prefer them call them wrestler shorts. Mm-hmm. And so clearly Siegel and Schuster borrowed some from that, but everybody did. I mean, at one point Hugo Danner says, "With great power comes great responsibility." And on the copy that I had, on one page there was a misprint where they called him Hugo Banner with a B. I'm thinking, where have I heard this name before? So, but that's my rant on that. I think those guys belong on every list, just even if their work sucked, just by fact that they were the pioneers.
Yeah. Did you know this? By the way, did you know there's a comic book adaptation of that story of Gladiator by Philip Wiley?
You have mentioned that before.
Marvel did that.
Who did?
Marvel did it in one of their Marvel preview, one of their magazines in the 70s, Mangog. It was by John Buscema, did the art on it. I can't remember who wrote it, but
that would be. Was it good?
It was pretty cool. I mean, it's been a long. I have it somewhere. I mean, I got to go dig it up and find it. So I'd have to dig it. But it is. Obviously it's a comic book truncated? For a comic book.
Was it only one issue?
Yes, but that was a pulp story. I don't know how long that original story was. It's been so long. I forgot where I have the print. What book or what reprint I have of that story. It's in a compilation, I think. I can't remember now.
The original story.
They called it Marvel called it Mangog. Excuse me, Mangod.
Mangod. Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I mean, I guess you could do it in one issue. Like you said, it would be highly truncated.
Yes. What's a comic? Comic adaptation. Story. Back then, they do that sort of thing.
Yeah, Superman in the original panels were. I mean, his origin was essentially one panel where they show an exploding planet and a ship.
That's all you need, right?
That's pretty much all you need.
They overdo it, right?
With Hugo Danner, you need his father injecting his sleeping, pregnant, overbearing wife. And the explanation for, actually, that's another point. Hugo Danner, the first so-called superhero in of course, we could go back to Greek mythology or the Scarlet Pimpernel or something, but in terms of how we tend to think of as a superhero, his father was studying insects and how grasshoppers could jump for what would be for us an eighth of a mile or more, or a tall building. And then in the very first strip of Superman, they had a quote, a scientific explanation for Clark Kent's abilities. Do you guys remember this?
Was
And
it
they-
gravity? I can't remember. Was it gravity?
It was
Wait,
well,
which
no,
one?
they
What were you saying? I was looking at something else. What was
Ma-
that?
So in the first strip of Superman that they pasted together to make Action Comics #1, there
Oh
was
yeah. That's true. Yeah.
the scientific explanation of Clark Kent's abilities, and they had a picture of an ant carrying a matchstick, and they had a picture of a grasshopper.
I have that somewhere.
So it's kind of referencing gravity, I guess, too, in some
It
ways, right?
had
Or-
the same.
Yeah.
Well, it could be. I guess that's probably more sciencey than I can understand with my limited artist brain. But essentially, they were saying he had the proportionate strength of insects. Where else we heard this before too? So,
Yes.
And
so
Schuster's art is pretty
Wrong
damn
issue.
good too. I mean,
Nope. Sorry.
yeah, and it got better
Yeah.
quickly. He kept up as the art form advanced, and a lot of artists did not.
No, I mean his stuff is, and I'm just goggling some of his images just to,
Hey,
his
Jedi
stuff is
Bill.
pretty damn good.
Jedi Bill, Merry Christmas to you. Welcome. Good to see you, my friend. I hope you're
Merry
having
Christmas,
and
Jedi
will
Bill.
have a wonderful Christmas time. Did we lose Steve? We lost
Oh
Steve.
no. Oh, he'll be back. I'm sure maybe
Lieutenant Steve.
Lex Luthor disconnected him.
Lieutenant Steve. Yeah. He'll be back, I hope. What
He'll be
happened,
back,
dude?
yep. Uh-oh. Interwebs went down, yep.
Hang on. There he is.
I'm sure he'll be
There you
back.
go.
Okay, should we let him back?
You back, bud?
Just I'll shut up as long as you show me that Man God.
Yeah, I was gonna. Here you go. I was gonna show you that.
Wow.
This was.
Look at that.
I have this somewhere.
What year is
Deity
this?
Sound. Oh, good God! I don't know. Mid-70s.
Wow. Look at this. Look at this biblical influence. I mean, he's pushing down pillars, and it says "Man God."
The first and greatest superhero of all time.
Philip Wiley. Yeah.
From the blockbusting novel Gladiator by Philip Wiley.
Who's doing that? That cover artwork.
Earl Norham. He passed a
not
couple years
familiar
back. I
with
loved Earl Norham. He did a lot of great covers. Pretty sure it's Earl Norham. Probably.
And the color is nice. Those wrists kind of bother me, but wrists are tricky.
Oh, there's Norm's name right in front of me. Yep, Norm.
Yeah. How do you know how do you remember these things, Clobby?
Well, these cover. He did a lot of these. I mean, I just know his style. I mean, he's a very. I mean, Bob Larkin did stuff similar, but you could tell a Norm cover. I think Norm was better, to be honest with you. He did a lot of these covers.
Yeah, but of course he's not a comic book artist expert. Of course, yeah. So
I'm not at all.
Far from it. Yep.
Clobby,
Those hips are way too hippie.
Hungry Boy says, Clobberin times. Have you figured out that I'm Wendy Peeney yet?
Oh yeah. Oh. Wow. That's hot. But you don't sound like her, but that's okay. He crossed the stream
changer.
He crossed the stream with the NORAD Santa tracking. I was doing that earlier, Tiger Stripes, as well, but it makes my computer go really slow. Let's see here.
Because Santa's going to so many places at once. Too,
yeah.
so.
By the way, Santa told me
like
he
computing
wasn't bringing anything to me. So let's see. This looks like
this is
Buscema and Tony DeZuniga. DeZuniga, but I don't know. That looks like Buscema pencils, but it's DeZuniga. Back when all these were coming out, Tony DeZuniga, whom I love his work, did a lot of he was with a bunch of he and a bunch of other artists from down south or South America came and worked for Marvel and DC and stuff. So yeah, I always thought it was Buscema that did it, but that is actually DeZuniga. Okay, which is cool. I mean, I just was thinking of somebody else.
It looks good.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Yes, I've been naughty, but I can't say anything about it here. So yeah, this is cool
That's
stuff.
why Santa's not coming in.
That's right.
What's the basis of this? I don't know anything about this comic. What's
it was a pulp written by, or a novel written by a guy named Philip Wilde back in the 1920s, and Jerry Siegel loved it. I mean, and he basically pretty much based Superman on it. in a lot of ways.
Okay, so Marvel just
Also, Doc Savage as well, but
Yeah,
Yeah.
Doc Savage, good point. Yeah.
So Marvel is this is just the visualization of the novel, or is a
this is excuse me, a comic book adaptation of the novel.
thank you. Yep, I should
And
have
it's
tried
a-
to say that instead of
it-
the big
it's
V
a-
word.
It's a
Too
little.
much
It's a
rum
little.
tonight.
It's a little comic. Yeah. So this was written World War I era.
Okay.
And it predates the superheroes a little bit. The costume I'm talking about, the muscles and stuff.
Yeah.
However, what they've done here is great artwork, but they gave you muscles, and in the book they specifically say that he was kind of skinny, which makes sense because Superman wouldn't have big muscles because your muscles get big by being challenged by something that's really hard for them to do over and over again. And these guys, everything's easy because they're so strong, so their muscles wouldn't really be big.
Yeah.
And if Philip Wiley, in his book, he had Gladiator, this character Hugo Danner, wear padding under the bodysuit.
There he is, Hugo Danner.
Yeah, and there's
because he looked too skinny.
Yeah. And if I hope not to ruin this for anybody, so if anybody wants to tune me out for 1 second, when he's a baby, I love the fact that they had to have his crib welded because he kept breaking through the bars. And and when he was punished, they had to get the blacksmith to whip him with chains because he didn't feel anything else.
I like this bit where he injected a kitten with that stuff, and it was repelling bullets. He had a super kitten.
Wow.
Oh, is that a part?
That kitten doesn't need 9 lives then.
I mean, it's been so long since I've read the story. Look at that. So much of this was they really just put into the Superman story.
Yep.
Wow,
sure did. The thing is,
and they talked about it too, right? I mean, they cited this, that they loved this. This was kind of a reference.
The first thing they were
later on,
Superman was supposed to be a villain, and then with mental powers, but then later they decided to go more with this.
Okay.
And
it was a magazine they did in high school.
Yeah.
And it was Reign of the Superman, and he basically looked like Lex Luthor, but he had mental powers.
Pretty much.
But nobody liked it.
Boy, right there.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, I heard didn't they destroy the comic or something, or they there's only the cover survives.
I've seen stuff from it. Salty Traveling Sea. Merry Christmas to you, my friend. Good to see you.
Hey, Salty. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, they put Reign of the Superman. I've seen some art from it by Joe Shuster. But yeah, so this is where kind of where most of what they took Superman from, Siegel and Schuster, and this is just the first and I believe only time it's ever been in comic book form. And Tony DeZuniga outdid himself on this because his art he was usually an inker, and that's why I always believed that John Buscema did the layouts on this, and it's not credited. Just because if you look at this, I love DeZuniga. Don't get me wrong.
I could totally see why you would say that, Clobby. I
really looks like it, doesn't it?
I wouldn't bet against that.
And he did used to do stuff like that. Because look, DeZuniga, if you look at his other stuff, it doesn't look anything like this. And this is really good stuff. And
nice art. Yeah,
black and white. Yeah.
It really is good art. Yeah.
And like Hungry was talking about back then in there were a bunch of Filipino artists that came up. I mean, tons of them. Worked for both Marvel and DC for peanuts, and that's why people wonder, back then wondering where they're getting all these guys. Well, they're getting them to work for peanuts, and and there were a lot of them who were really good. Nestor Redondo, I mean, just a bunch of them. The Filipino guys were fab, most inspirational. They were, and Hungry Boy says, along with the Filipino guys, I'd also shout out the south of the border guys. Like the dear Pablo Marcos was fantastic, who made a lot of great stuff. Ernie Chan, sometimes Ernie Chua went at DC. Alfredo Alcala, there's so many of them. That's the Redondo.
There's a guy who has anybody seen Jimbo Salgado's work?
The name doesn't.
This guy's great. This guy is great. I've seen some of his work online for both Marvel and DC.
Is he new though, or?
Yeah, he looks like pretty new, but man, he's really. It sounds like a Filipino name to me, and there's a lot of good Filipino animators as well. Clobby, I think I told you about my friend that worked on the 90s Fantastic Four cartoon.
Yes.
This guy I work with, and he also worked on Spirit, Stallion of the Cimarron, and Treasure Planet. And who was the one about the Russian princess?
He must have adapted the whole book. This is a very, very long comic. There's a lot to it.
That's great.
I mean, it's been my God. I mean, I bought this in the 80s, and I know I have it, so I know I still have it.
Scroll back up.
Marvel.
Scroll back up a couple of pages, Clobby.
Marvel Preview presents number 9.
Number 9. Okay.
That's the old those Curtis magazines. I love the Marvel black and white magazines of the 70s.
Yeah, keep going.
Yeah, that's a lot. There's a lot of first appearances. I'm just looking up in my comic database.
Stop. Go down one page.
Yes, there are.
Go down one. Right at the bottom of the you see that this is what gives it away is Tony DeZuniga. The top left panel where he's lifting the guy over his head.
Right. Pod Racing Palpatine, Merry Christmas.
That looks that's the way he did that pose a lot from that angle a lot. The way he drew the rib cage, the chest, and the shoulders. That one gives it away as Tony DeZuniga.
Well, the thing about DeZuniga is he rarely did pencils. He was an inker most of the time. He made his claim to fame for inker. True. He did a lot of pencils on Jonah Hex though. But other than Jonah Hex, I didn't see him do a lot of. And I loved his Jonah Hex. I didn't see him do a lot of. I saw him do a lot of inks, but yeah, he did some pencils too. So no, look. I'm not knocking him, and I love the guy.
And nor am I disagreeing with you.
Yeah,
I think that, but that one panel to me, that's one I would have looked at and said, "Oh, that's him." But the other ones, I totally get, and you could very well be. I mean, yeah, I definitely like
that face right there does a little.
Yeah. The way he's shading the eyes, and totally.
For example, if you'd showed me the art and said, "Who you think did this?" I'd say maybe Val Myrick, maybe John Buscema. I probably wouldn't have gone for just DeZuniga for a while of my guesses. I don't know.
Well, the comic book database, comic base says Rick for the interior art, Rick Buckler, Mad Castrillo, and Tony DeZuniga.
I could see some
inker,
Buckler
Tony
layouts
DeZuniga
there.
And Mad Castrillo. So,
well, it's credited to DeZuniga, but
okay.
Yeah, and again, Buckler would have been on my, again, if I had to guess, see, black and white's different too. A lot of these people, we see most of their art in color.
Yeah. Inking and shading is going to be a lot different for black and white than it will be for color. Because you would if you did some of this inking stuff for a color piece, it would be way overbaked. But if you don't, you can't rely on color to give you depth and give you texture and things. So that's why the inking here is more, I don't want to say heavy-handed because that sounds like a negative, but there's more work put into it.
Wait, there's good.
Oh, we lost you for a second, Clobberin Times. I don't know if that was my computer or
no, I didn't hear. I didn't hear him either.
You hear me now?
Excuse me.
We can hear you now. Yep.
How about now?
Yep, you're good.
I don't know. Just zombie did me
blanked out for a
reason.
second.
Crap.
But I don't know if that was. You're back now. Yep.
Oh, someone said, "Oh, black screen." We're back now. Are we back on?
We're back now. Yeah. Well, it's a delay
Thank
too.
You,
don't
everybody.
forget on YouTube.
So that was YouTube then.
Yep, sorry about that.
That had to be YouTube then.
One of us probably said something that was not officially approved. Thoughts.
No, I think it was just a glitch on the StreamYard side or No, I think that was a interweb glitch. I think because the whole screen didn't go out. It was just we lost the mic screen for a second with the share of the screen.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, everybody, for that. Well, hey.
When I look at this illustration, sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say when I look at this illustration, I see Samson.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing too. I was
back
in my mind. It was like, this is Samson. Yeah. Well, the pillars that is in the temple when he's knocking down the pillars in
Right.
the temple. Yep.
The torn clothing, the
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to dig out my copy of this, or I could just read it online like that.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can find
It's
it on
easier.
eBay. It looks pretty cool.
It's about $8 on eBay. I was just looking it up.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yep.
Yeah,
But there's a lot of
that's not
first
bad.
appearances in Marvel preview presents. So like Star Lord.
Yeah, some of them are high.
Yeah. So that one's.
I could see
not
that
too bad,
issue in my
actually,
head.
60
Yeah.
bucks. Then the issue after
Yeah,
this one has
Star-Lord.
got Steve. You're on the cover of the next issue after this one.
Iron Fist or
Number
Thor?
10 is Thor. Is Thor.
Oh.
Yep.
Thor.
The power and majesty of the greatest warrior of all. I love these
I have that
preview
one.
magazines.
That's a great cover. If I know which one you're the one
Oh,
after
it's
this
great,
one.
yeah.
Let me find it. Hey,
Yeah.
I'll say, hey, 1 second. Hang on.
Number 10. Yeah, it's a good cover.
Wait,
yeah.
Is that the one where the metal discs on his plate are very
No, I think he's on a ship.
It's very shiny. Yep. He's over some warriors. He's vanquished some warriors. And who's the cover artist? It says Ken Barr, according to the comic base. But,
oh, this is the one I was thinking of. Yeah.
yeah, you got it.
Ken
Yeah.
Barr.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good stuff.
The cape is great there. Yep.
Do you have
Yeah,
this
cool.
one, Clobby?
I love these covers. No, I don't think I have this one.
I
remember
have it,
buying
and
that one
I gave
specifically.
it away.
Oh, you had this one? Cool.
Yeah, I gave it away.
I remember I used to I found it in like a quarter bin or dollar bin or something back in the 80s. I think, if I remember right. And yeah, I'd have it.
JT,
That's when a cover makes you buy a comic, right? I mean, just
well,
the cover.
I was actually looking for it though.
You were looking for it,
actually,
okay, but yeah.
Yeah, because I wanted that story because I knew what it was and I wanted to find it.
Yeah.
And so
it's pretty great. Although the left arm the anatomy is wrong, but it's still great work. JT Kirk says, I'm even more ripped than this underneath my beer gut.
Even the Marvel database says it's just Dazunica.
This one?
Yeah.
Or the
the Man God one.
Man God, yeah. See, this is comic base is curated by, as I said, people can curate it, but
yeah, I'm gonna
the
look
software
at,
but of course, sometimes what you have, I think you have even more knowledgeable people than the Marvel because
you got to check GCD on that.
Yeah, but these are all the comic base people are some of the people have immense collections. So I sometimes I although I don't take it as gospel, I trust them more because there's people like you, Mike, and other people contributing to the database. So it doesn't mean it's 100%. But a lot of times where people are uncredited, but they'll fill in the blanks for uncredited work. So
okay, here we go. The one I trust the most always when you want to get the deep info when you're doing research on comics. Yep. And sorry everyone, I'm not looking at the screen right now, but all right, it's called the GCD. It's called the Grand Comics Database, and I always use it the best. It's better than the dumb Marvel database, really. It's okay. It's got Dazunica. First of all, they put John Warner as script instead of Roy Thomas. Roy Thomas took credit for it. He was editing the book at the time. I think it probably was Warner, to be honest, but that's neither here nor there. It's got pencils, Tony DeZuniga, and inks, Tony DeZuniga, and then it's got art, a couple art credits for Dan Adkins, and that would make sense looking at that art. However, I have to see the notes. See notes. It says Rich Buckler credited on the table of contents page in error. Dan Atkins uncredited art on last page. Info per Nick Caputo 2020. So it was only updated to 2020. Now I've got to go look at that page again. But
so Buckler's credited in error then.
In error, according to the. So is it true or not? I don't know. But by the way, there's another one, Hungry Boy. Dan Adkins, not on the damn list. Jesus Christ. Great inker and great penciler. I mean, in fact, I'm starting to compile a list of a few people left off of it that irritate me. That should be on there. So
would they replace
Just
people that are on there, or just expand the list in terms of the
I would.
greatest?
Some people I would go. Well, there are gonna be people I'm gonna go. This I think the way I'm gonna approach this. When I'm going down the list saying, "Oh, wait a minute. So and so's not on here, but this guy is."
Yeah, this guy would replace this guy. Yeah,
And we're gonna be mean to some newer people. I understand that. Okay, here you go.
not gonna be mean to Todd McFarlane.
All right, Roy Thomas, editor. Archie Goodwin and John Roth consider. Yeah, of course. You know him. I don't like him. Dan Atkins is one of the art directors. Let's see. Okay. In the contents, it says Epic Novel Gladiator, Philip Wilde's Epic Novel Gladiator, conceived by Roy Thomas, Rich Buckler, and Tony DeSonica. They got Buckler, but they say that's. And what does it say?
Maybe he was in on some of the meetings or things, or he was.
It says. No, it's a contents from error. Dan Atkins, uncredited art. Last page. Info per. Okay. Well, he said it wasn't Buckler. Who knows? Well, we didn't solve anything here today, folks. But we never do. Yeah, well, you don't like Clovis.
Clovis?
Daniel Close. Yeah, I'm with you, Hunger Boy. I wouldn't have him on there either. He's just one of these pretentious, underground, not underground. Well, would you call him underground, Hunger Boy? I don't know. He's
avant-garde.
He doesn't belong on there when you don't have Kurt Swan on there. I'll tell you that. Good Lord, Kurt Swan. Dan Atkins, Joe Schuster. Jeez, Herb Trimpe for that matter. But I know a lot of people don't like Trimpe, but I like him. I mean, he was mostly ripping Kirby, but yeah, he was great.
He was very, I think, influential Hulk artist.
Absolutely.
Although, I think Mary is it Mary or Marie? I can't remember.
Marie Severin is on the list.
Is she? Okay,
and
good.
John Severin too. Oh yeah, Marie was great.
I like the way that she drew the Hulk. I really did. She really got that sort of brutish, unrefined
I
look
loved
to
her
him.
Hulk.
Yeah.
Her brother was a good artist, John, and she was definitely underrated as well.
Yeah.
So, one of the things about comic book art that people or comic book production. Go ahead.
No, go.
What's that?
Fit it before. I was going to ask Mark if he has a favorite artist or two, but I want you to finish what you were about to say first.
Oh yeah, go for it. I was just going to say that there was, comic books, really, comic strips, and then the comic books. The whole concept of the comic book writer is a strange thing when you think about it. Usually, comic books were created by one. A story was done by one guy most of the time, and even the inking, what the comic artist would do most of it, come up with the story, do the writing. He wouldn't have to work from a script. He would do it. He would draw. He would come up with all the ideas and do it all himself. Editors would be there kibitzing sometimes, and then somehow, some way, a guy named whose initials are SL came along and created the Marvel method. That's the one thing he did create, sort of, where he would have meetings with artists. They would talk about it, and then they would bring him a story, and he would put his name on it and take basically, as Wally Wood and Bill Everett even said it at some point, he'd basically take writer credit so he could get paid for writing something. But before that, and that's what created the field of comic book writer, and what comic writers really were people who were guys who couldn't draw, that tried to get in. They were failed artists. But they managed to get into the door. They managed to get into the door because of that Marvel method. When you didn't really need them, comic artists usually could do their own stories. And again, if you look at them, there's exceptions. Kurt Busiek wasn't really an artist. Of course, Alan Moore wasn't really an artist. I mean, he did his own little crazy strips before. But
how about Roy Thomas?
For the most part, no, he wasn't either. But look at like Shooter. Shooter tried to draw, he couldn't draw. Whereas what's that? Your boy Byrne. Whatever I say about his writing, he liked to do his own stories. Miller, or just go all the big names. I don't even like McFarlane, but McFarlane, Liefeld, most of them liked to Starlin. They were comic book creators and then you have guys like, I'm sorry, I'm not, I know it breaks orthodoxy because people like him and worked with him. Your Wolfmans and your Weens, and some of the guys were different. Some were outliers. Steve Gerber was a legitimately a good writer and wasn't an artist. There are a couple guys who made a living for themselves in the 70s
Peter
as
David,
writers.
one of my
Peter
favorites.
David is another one. They have plenty of them now. But before that, before Stan came along and did that with the Marvel method, there really weren't that many of them. There were a couple at DC here and there. But for the most part, comic book artists did the story and everything as well. Just saying. So it was always, now again, there are plenty of writers who work. I love it. And they would, turn in these massive scripts and stuff and give them to artists. And then these artists were able to, before, by the way, Clobby, Marvel's first credit is illustrating for Lynn, believe it or not. Yep. They even drew stuff for their fanzine. So anyway, Steve, go ahead. Go ahead, man.
Oh, do we forget Dan Slott too? We don't want to leave out our buddy Dan.
Do we have to? It became a thing. They're comic writers for sure, and some good ones. I'm saying, for the most part,
but
that's
initially,
not how it all started.
So I have actually two questions. One, and this is just because I would like to get a view from the other side of not being an artist. Is I did have this. I remember that guy in the Thor costume.
Now that's John right there.
Nice. Yeah.
Totally. Yeah.
Even though Redondo's got assigned it.
So I have a question for Mark, and then I have a question for both of you. Mark, as somebody who's not an artist, do you have a favorite or a few favorites artists?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So I would say, of course, Golden. Being a huge Micronauts fan, is one of my favorites. Although his body of work, as we talked about earlier, is very limited in comics. So, and I think his cover work is brilliant, but I guess maybe belong on that list, but very high up or low number, I think, just because the body of work there's some kind of formula there. I would say, of course, Jack Kirby, I grew to love. It took a while, but then I grew to love his artwork, and I always joke, why didn't I buy all those FF back issues instead of the 90s garbage stuff? And I remember all the back the Kirby stuff was $5 in the bar, another bargain bin for most of the 0 to 100. Other, of course, than the key. Some of those keys were pretty cheap back in the day. Of course, George Perez, who we just lost, one of my favorites. Trying to think of who else. Who would I seek out? Now, of course, I talked about before McFarlane when he was doing that run on Amazing. There was so much hype, and it was just an exciting time to read Spider-Man, and maybe it's exaggerated, but it was just, you were just looking forward to that book every month just to see what happened with McFarlane. Of course, I think his work on the Hulk was actually better preceding that. I'm trying to think who else would, of course, and like you said, Kurt Swan is one of the all-time greats. I'm trying to think of, growing up as a kid, who would I seek out? I did mention Perez, of course, right? Yeah, George Perez, and then
Terry Austin. Terry Austin, Inking Rogers.
Oh, Terry Austin's great.
Yeah, great. Inking Marshall Rogers. Good point, Hungry. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, and John Byrne, of course.
John Byrne. Yeah. What was John Byrne doing? What was John Byrne doing when you became
Fantastic Four? So I guess in the 200, when did Byrne come in? Around the 220s or something, or
232 was his first. When he came back to do the writing. Mm-hmm. I mean, he had worked on the book a couple times before that, an earlier stint when he just was the penciler. But when he took over all the chores, it was 232.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, Jim Aparo. Love Jim Aparo on Batman. I'm trying to think of who, but I'm trying to think of who you would, if you, as a comic book fan, like if you saw that name on the cover, you're like, I'm buying that.
Well, that was actually my next question for both of you guys, which would be, would you so you just pretty much said you would see a name on a cover of an artist and that would make you want to buy the book. Was it the same with writers? Was there
Peter David? If I bought everything, I've read everything Peter David, probably, not as many, recently, but, I bought the whole run of Supergirl because Peter David was writing it, when he was doing Marvel, Janice Marvel, with, I bought that and that just restarted up again. So, But there's certain, people, and the interesting thing is, I love, you love saying who's better than who. But if you like an artist or a writer, of course, and Hungry Boy is one of my favorite artists too. I can't leave Hungry Boy
he's the
out.
great. Yeah, he's the greatest artist of all time.
So yeah, I would. If I saw Hungry Boy on the cover, I'm buying that too.
Oh yeah.
But I it's and of course then if you love the or Simonson, leaving Simonson out on Thor, like the books that you'd buy, like I always bought Hulk, always bought Thor, always bought Fantastic Four and Spider-Man and Batman and Detective were probably and for a while X-Men until the Claremont went too crazy. I just couldn't take it anymore.
Yeah.
So I couldn't
a lot
take
of people
the
say
stories.
that.
I hadn't thought of this before, but I guess there are three categories that one might become a fan of: an artist, a writer, or a title, or
sometimes a character as well. But
character or group of characters. That's kind of what I meant. Is sort of under the umbrella of title would be like,
yes,
oh, I like the X-Men, the first or the second or whatever.
Yeah.
So what about you, Clobby? Are there writers that you would go? And would one be precedent over the other? Would like if you had Jim Aparo with you don't really care for Len Wein's writing, right?
I like Wein. Okay, yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
I wasn't a big fan of Mike Barr.
Here we go. Oh, okay, Mike Barr. Okay.
Barr.
So were there writers that you would go for, even if the art was bad, and vice versa? Was there something you'd buy for example, if Kirby that's a little too far out. Let's say George Perez drew a book by a writer that you thought was a hack. Would you buy it for the art, and vice versa? Would you buy it for the story if the art was terrible?
My criteria on that would always be if it's, let's say it's characters that I really like if it's an issue of Justice League written by one of the worst hacks ever, Jerry Conway. If Perez did it, I'd buy it. Yeah. If it were a group that I didn't care about that much and Perez did it, but it had a crappy writer, maybe not so much. That's the kind of way I was approaching it back when I was starting to hone my comic book taste, at that young age where you and I first met, when in the early 80s.
The 1680s.
Indeed, the 1680s. As you know, if Alan Moore did it, I bought it no matter what. If I became kind of that way with Kurt Busiek, used to say. There was a while when I would buy pretty much anything that Mark Waid would write. Not so much now, but I mean, it kind of other writers. Miller, when he was at those occasions where he would write something that he didn't draw himself, like my favorite thing he's ever had his name ever on was something he didn't draw, which was Bored Again, which is kind of good that he didn't draw it. But although most things he's does the art as well.
Was that Mazzucchelli?
Yes, Mazzucchelli from Daredevil 227 through 236, and of course it's compiled, I love it. But there were a few writers. Steve Gerber was for a while. There's something I would buy most things he would do. Jim Starlin, but he draws most of the stuff he writes. Most of, not all.
I think Jim Starlin is really good for like outer space type.
Yeah, his space stuff was fantastic.
Oh God, yeah.
There's something kind of unearthly about the way he drew, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And Ron Lim too. Didn't Ron Lim do a lot of Surfer and space?
He did, and I think Starlin was writing it when Lim was doing that Surfer series of the late '80s or whatever it was. Yeah,
yeah.
Ron Lim, and it was okay. He was okay. He was like a decent, passable sort of an artist. Thank you, Dad, man. It's very nice of you to say that. But as far as artists now that I would buy no matter what, I don't know if I maybe even told you about this before, Steve. I think I mentioned it. There was this interesting cat that used to come into to Southland Comics when I first started running it before, and when it was in the little shed.
I remember
when it was a little garage shed thingy before
when you guys kicked me out. Yeah,
kicked you out.
No, you should have though.
Oh, what the hell? What the hell? This guy.
You're wishing you would have.
I'll never forget this dude. His name was Dwight, and he would come in and we would talk about comics. And he was a good number of years older than me. I was 18, 19 years, or whatever it was. And we would talk about comic. When I was just a kid, I was a kid, man. I was having fun running a comic shop, and I was saying,
And what's not to love, right?
yeah, we would talk about these artists, and he would talk about, Miller sucks, and this artist sucks, and I was talking about. This is kind of interesting. Dovetails what you were talking about, Steve. I would say, yeah, the art wasn't so good, but the story was pretty good on this one. Yeah, I'll give you. And he said, "Well, if the art sucks, I don't even want it." So and this was a guy that told me he's a big artist. He's a big artist fan. He said, "I don't buy for the characters or the stories. I buy these just for the art. I've never met anyone else like that before." But he says, "I only buy for the artist." I mean, yeah, not that he doesn't like. He was a Doctor Strange fan. Not that he doesn't like comic characters, but if it had a crap artist, if I told him, "Man, look, this is the best story I've ever read." But the art, he said, well, he wouldn't have it. Now, most people would go, yeah, the art sucked, but this was a good issue because they bought the comics regularly. He didn't buy in a doctrinaire fashion. In other words, where you had to buy every issue, where he's buying Teen Titans regularly or buying X-Men
Blasphemy.
So he didn't like.
Not a completist.
And to him, he was really snooty about the artist. Miller didn't like him. The Buscema's of the world, John Orfsal, we would talk about him. We got into these conversations about art. I learned things from him because he'd say, "Yeah, but see, look at this here." We would show. He says, "We look like, say, a Sal Buscema book or a John Buscema book or what have you." He goes, "See, it's competent, but it's not exciting. There's nothing good. It's just the images are placid. It's not really. It's
average.
Moving. It just does this nothing." And then he would show, we look at a Starling, or look at a Barry Windsor Smith, we would look at a Kirby, or he says, look at the or Kane even. Gil Kane, he said, look at the character. This work, this distinctive. These guys have style. Look at the backgrounds when they weren't ruined by some inker. And sometimes they were. And we talk about all these things about how, look at this art. He said, so his big thing he would always say when I would say this art, he said, it's competent, but it's not exciting. That was his biggest critique. Unless it really sucked, of course. And he was very, very particular. But you know what? I learned a lot about, looking at comic book art and that kind of. And it would be fun. He'd come in and say, "Hey, look at this," and it'd be by some obscure artist that he liked. "Oh yeah, I got to have that." And then the next issue would come out by someone else. Be like, "I don't want that shirt," So that was interesting cat there.
Most people I think are would rather have, I know we got some artists in the crowd, but I could always put up with bad art if it had a great story. But of course, it's a home run when we have both. But if you have a terrible story, it just brings the art down so much too. That's you got to have both together, but in conjunction.
But I can name you some really good stories that had shit art, dude. I mean,
yeah,
it's happened.
It happens.
I started reading The American by Dark Horse.
Yeah, Mark Verheiden.
Yeah, my brother, the one that passed away, used to play cards with him. He sent me a letter when he was living in California, and I was in Baton Rouge, saying, "Hey, I'm playing cards with this guy, and he's starting to write comic books. His name is Mark Verheiden. Have you heard of him?" I said, "No." And so I started buying The American, and it's kind of what Clobby was saying. When it started out, the art was good, and the story was really good. Even though it was a little bit of a puzzle at first, they sort of had to fill in some pieces later. But then they switched to another artist who was much inferior. And I also feel this way about Miracle Man. Both of them started out with great artists and great writing, and they get you hooked. And then they bait and switch the artist on you. But I still kept going with both of those because the stories were so, engaging. Miracle Man, you wanted to find out what happens with Kid Miracle Man.
You got to know,
yeah. Have you read any of these things, Mark?
That was a Dark Horse comic.
Yeah.
Have you read what? What was the question? I'm sorry.
Miracle Man.
Because I knew that you knew Miracle Man, and I think you've also read The American, right, Clobby?
I did. I remember, and I know what you're talking about. They had I could for the life of me think of remember who the artist is now, but Mark Verheiden wrote the comic. I remember that.
Yeah.
And they had some interesting, some pretty good art. I mean, I think somebody like, I want to say Chris Warner or somebody like that used to draw it, and then some other guy took over, and I couldn't remember for the life of me.
Grant Meme, I believe it's pronounced. Okay. It's pronounced Mime. Yeah.
Well, it really fell down.
It did, and it's it really it does have a big effect, but they've got you hooked on the story at that point. You want to know what's going to happen. So um, yeah. So anyway,
Yeah, yeah, the writer matters, but I have said that said, Steve, there have been some comics where I'm going, yeah, this art really kind of bites, but I love the story, and I'll still love the story, but man, there's no denying the damage it can do.
Frank
Because
Hungry Boy
visual
brought up
medium.
Frank Robbins. Oh, but Clobby and I used to make fun of Frank Robbins. I kind of
Frank
feel
Robbins,
I feel bad about it now, but
oh boy,
knowing how old he was at the time. But yeah, Clobby, you remember we used to make fun of like the way he would draw people.
Well, here's the thing about that, Steve. Back
we used to talk about when people would
right,
land,
how old those guys were. Guys could barely hold the pencil. They were
Wasn't it kind of a charity case to them in some ways? You were saying, you think?
Yeah,
just
they were lucky to get a gig.
Some work.
Yeah.
Well, it's like you were telling me. Schuster was.
Well, yeah, I mean, they were lucky to get a gig. They weren't given the big sellers.
Yeah, but like Schuster would actually deliver a package to DC, and the people that were so upset and embarrassed that that was part of the impetus, I guess, for getting him a new job. Or I mean, imagine that, the guy that created Superman, and he's doesn't have enough money to live on to survive.
Just for the fact of especially after Superman the movie came out, which at that time I think was the #1 movie of all time. I could be wrong.
Oh yeah,
but it was certainly definitely up
there.
At that point,
maybe #2 after Star Wars or something.
Was that after Star Wars?
Star Wars. It was up there. It was up there.
It was up there.
Yeah, it was a year after Star Wars. So, yeah.
But at that point, they, Warner or DC, whoever you want to refer to them as, should have said, okay, these guys get a stipend for life. They've made us so much money, and we paid them. They gave them a couple $100 or something.
Well, they gave him $20,000 for life and life insurance or health insurance. $20,000 a year. Imagine that. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's
Frank Springer instead. Frank Springer. Well, there you go. I mean, yeah, look.
I mean,
again, we didn't know we were kids. Guy. Don Heck. Yeah. To buy I remember the anger. There were the two words were Invaders. Wow, look at this. It would have a Kirby cover or a Gil Kane cover, or at least a Buckler cover.
Cover.
Something with it's got Captain America and Submariner and the original Human Toy. I loved it, and I would buy it. And it would be, and then, or worse, Justice League cover, Perez cover on Justice League, because he just left the book. But I opened it up. I was like, oh my God, Don Heck.
What happened?
Those guys
what the heck?
weren't bad in their prime. They weren't bad in their prime, but
Don Heck carried the Avengers torch for a while.
He did for a good while. He had a good run,
Yeah.
But I did, at that time I didn't know that, and he was just on. And by the way, same deal. Flash, Irv Novick at least made it look halfway decent. He leaves, and I'm like, oh my God, Don Heck, why? Well, yeah, but or Carmen Infantino did a lot of fine work in the 50s and 60s. Then he comes back after he's ousted as publisher at DC. They've been there for a while and eventually got ousted and had to go back into drawing comics. And what does he do? He draws John Carter and Star Wars, and he freelances because he goes to DC and does a bunch of comics over there too. And I'm like, Carmine. I mean, I had not seen a lot of his stuff yet. His old stuff that was good, like his Flash Run was great. His Batman stuff's great. All I'm seeing is this stuff. I'm saying, this is awful. Good God, his people look like, it's awful art. And it is. Yeah. I'm sorry. Even when I look at it today, I'm like, it's not as, I can look at it at least through a lens of, man, compared to stuff today. But still, it's not, bad's bad, good's good. You can't water down your standards that much just because of how garbagey things are today. Yeah, Nova. Oh my God, Nova, Jesus. Yeah.
Who drew Nova? Who drew Nova?
I love the first issue was by Big John Buscema. Okay. Then 2 through 13 or 14, I think, was by Sal with Frank Giasolia most of the time inking him. He had a couple different other inkers, but Big John and again, so Sal was at least not that much of a step down, and he was a very exciting, very clean style. I know my buddy Dwight wouldn't have liked it, but it was good read, a lot of fun. Actually, we reviewed it on Nick's. We reviewed all the first 13 issues on Nick's channel a couple of months back with the boys there, and they were all a lot younger than me, and they were all trying to be nice. They still they loved the stories and the fun, but the dialogue by Marv Wolfman was beyond cringe-inducing. But what they enjoyed was the character, the art, and the stories. And as crazy as they were, they had a good time. They had a blast watching the thing, and it was, reading the thing and experiencing it, even with some of the cringiest writing, because those guys weren't writers. They read Stan's silly crap and with his bad dialogue and just copied it. And, they became editors, so they got to do whatever they want. He was editing his own comics. And so they were the writers, and, they got to do some really, look, I love Nova, but let's face it, he's a pretty lame ripoff of Green Lantern.
Oh, that's true. By the way, Merry Christmas, Clobby.
Yes, it is Christmas now for some of us here in the Eastern.
And Mark, it's
been Christmas for an hour, but yeah, Merry Christmas.
Yep. You're a couple hours away, aren't you?
I have 2 more hours.
Oh my!
So, but this was a good break from wrapping presents for my my little angel.
Well, that's good, man. So when you're going to see, we'll see her tomorrow and give her some presents. I take it.
I will see her at 2. Yeah, and I have a little pink tricycle, and yeah, she's
awesome.
You missed it,
nice.
Mark. I had to buy her a wallet because social stop and put like
wallet.
I had to buy a wallet because she's always grabbing my wallet, and she says Maddie's wallet. And then
she is correct though.
She's
not entirely wrong there.
She'll pull out the credit cards and everything. Yeah, in a way, you're right. Yeah, you're right. But yeah, so I put together a pink tricycle and then wrapped a wallet and preloaded it with like how everything is the size. Good
luck, aren't you?
Everything is the size of a credit card these days. If you have like Albertsons or whatever your local grocery store chain is, there they have those member clubs. So I bought her a wallet and preloaded it with cards. So hopefully she'll leave mine alone.
Awesome.
That's hilarious. So what about you, Mark? What you got planned? What's your big Christmas plans for tomorrow?
Well, we have Grammy and Grampy coming over for Christmas brunch at 10:30.
Yeah,
and we're gonna open.
Now, is that your grandparents? Or
that's my in-laws. In-laws, we call them Grammy and Grampy.
In-laws. There you go.
In-laws, yep. So they're coming over for brunch, and then we're headed to my brother-in-law because he's a glutton for punishment. And after cooking for 6 hours today with us, with me, he's going to cook because I told that story as the Italian Christmas Eve. We do the 7 fishes, which is the tradition. There's a symbology, symbolism of the 7. The seven. There's the 7 deadly sins, and there's a 7. 7 is just a number. So
is that what that's about?
Well, there's also what's the symbolism? It's 7.
7 is the loneliest number that you'll.
Yeah. So
was that by 21 Pilots or 3 Dog Night?
7 is the most crowded number that you'll ever do.
Yeah, and you're not. It's the 7 sacraments, 7 days of creation, 7 virtues, 7 days. Mary and Joseph reached Bethlehem. So, and of course, you're not supposed to have any meat on. So as we joke, we suffer through all the shrimp and the clams and the squid
poor guy.
That's the joke.
What time should Clobby and I be there?
You can. There's only leftovers. Well, Clobby doesn't want. Well, you wouldn't eat
Clobby
the shrimp.
Like
you'd
seafood,
eat just the pasta. You would just eat the pasta and maybe the salmon. Would you eat salmon? Salmon. It's not your favorite. Yeah,
So
I don't know. We didn't have any green stuff. We didn't cook the broccoli tonight, so it was all fish. Yeah.
The only thing that should be green is the tree.
Actually, I feel horrible because last night I made broccoli with cheese, and Maddie didn't want it, and so I ate it, and then she grabbed some at the last minute, and she liked it. It was like the last 2 pieces. She said, "More broccoli." I said, I don't have any more broccoli, honey. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I felt horrible. So, but yeah, being Clobby and not eating seafood would be like being from Maine and not liking lobster.
Well, he doesn't eat the sea bugs, though, as Hungry Boy says, not the So,
No, but
and the other,
Clobby doesn't like
he
any.
likes catfish, right? You like catfish, Mike, right?
I do like catfish. Yeah, I like
Oh, I
some
thought
fish.
you didn't like any
I like-
seafood.
Oh no, just I like fish. Some fish, fine. You know,
Okay.
haddock and the catfish when it's fried down there. Good old fried catfish.
Oh,
I just don't want any bugs.
Yeah.
But they're not. But they're
No
not bugs. They're
bugs.
related to lobster.
They even call them sea bugs.
Sea bugs.
Well, they can call them anything
Shrimp
they
or
want.
bugs.
I mean, well, they taste good to me. But see, I don't like catfish or
No
bottom
crawfish
dog
either.
because all I taste with catfish is the dirt and dust at the bottom of the sea, at the bottom of the river that they're eating. I could taste the dirt.
That's weird, but okay.
Well, the
Said
other
the
thing
man
that
who
I
doesn't
make,
eat crawfish.
one of my favorite
Fish and
things to
chips.
make
Yes,
is
I eat fish and chips. Yeah.
I make a garlic sauce. So the recipe is Wonder Bread, olive oil, some white wine, a little bit of vinegar, and a ton of garlic. And you make like a sauce out of it. And if you love garlic, it's it's not good for Dracula, but it goes fantastic on the fried food or even in your pasta. So I made a nice batch of that tonight. Oh, I left it at Grandma's house. Mom's house. I got to go pick that up. I love that stuff. It's so good with the smelts, and we make smelts, little tiny fishes. Those are good, deep fried. Yeah, so a lot of the stuff is deep fried. So you would it tastes really
how
good.
unchristmassy.
Not
very true, hungry boy.
Not if you're Italian.
Yeah, but then so what I always say when the first day that my brother-in-law was with, got married to my sister, and it's like, what are you guys doing for Christmas? And I'm like, well, we're eating leftovers. We're just watching TV. We're gonna watch Star Wars or something. He's like, yeah, but what are you cooking? I'm like, well, we don't cook today. What are you, crazy? And I thought he was gonna start to cry. He's like, but aren't you having prime rib or ham or? Like, no. So now he took it upon himself to cook on Saturday too. So we're gonna go there in the afternoon and hang out over there and be even more stuffed.
Well, excellent day.
So you gonna see the kids?
Yeah, the kids are all back, which is good. My daughter unfortunately got stuck, couldn't fly. She was with her boyfriend in Anguilla. So we're joking. She's stuck in a tropical island for an extra day, so her flight was canceled. So his family, they'd taken a vacation there somewhere nice. So it's like, do you mind if I go? I might miss Christmas Eve. I'm like, that's okay. But of course, with all the travel woes, so of course, but she's, it's 10 degrees here right now. So like, it's okay, Nicole. But so she'll be coming back now. The latest flight says 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock, so we'll have to go get her at the airport. So hopefully she'll make it back. I'm like, if not, just stay another day, right? In a tropical place. You're gonna freeze when you come back. So, but she's having fun. So get the whole gang together.
Eric K.
Yeah.
Thank you, buddy, for the $5 super
nice.
chat. You're too kind, buddy. So Jennifer Lawrence gave Stanley the idea, but then that's a Fantastic Four. Well, I believe that more than Stan having it, to be honest. That's more credible than Stan's story.
Yeah, they're cut from
Merry
the same
Christmas.
cloth.
Yeah, exactly. Merry Christmas. All much love, and to you, buddy. Merry Christmas to you, my friend.
Merry Christmas. Yeah. You want that in English now? Merry Christmas, Eric K.
Merry Xmas. Just say Merry Xmas.
Oh man. Well, thank you all so much for being here.
Oh, and I do have to show one thing that I got tonight.
My
so
God, I'm gonna
I'm trying to get out of here.
Then you take the
Cheers.
helm.
I'm gone. That's all. Cheers.
Second.
Yeah, you stand up. Sorry.
Up.
Yep.
You can
Go
show
ahead,
that.
go ahead and stand up, Clobby, because I have a question.
Stand up. Yep.
For
well, cheers to
R2
Eric
here.
K and everyone. Check this out. R2D2 mug that I got from my brother-in-law. So
that's very
very cool. So it's got a cover on it. So cheers, everyone. Merry Christmas
very
out there.
Cool. Oh, jealous. Jealousy.
So good stuff.
While Clobby is stretching, and he probably wants to wrap this up, I think.
Yeah.
Before you were here, Mark, Clobby was asking a question, and the chat all chimed in, and the question was, is there anything that you watch every Christmas? And for me, it was, especially now with Maddie, it's How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the original, Chuck Jones animated one, the
best
Muppet,
one.
the Muppet Christmas Carol, and Charlie Brown Christmas. And some people said, things like, of course, Die Hard.
Yeah.
What about you? Do you have anything that you watch every Night
of the Meek, which we did that watch party last Sunday night Geekery night. If I'm home early enough, I'll do a maybe instead of Geekery, we'll do like a watch party. So other things I always love watching besides that Twilight Zone episode, George C. Scott's version of the Christmas Carol. I love that version, and of course I love I'm a sucker for the Rankin and Bass old time cartoons, or not cartoon, but the animation. So
stop
Year
motion.
Without a Stop Motion, Year Without a Santa Claus, the one with Heat Miser. I think that's that one, and then Santa Claus is Coming to Town, Rudolph.
Right.
That whole
Rudolph.
genre. There's some great ones. Little Drummer Boy is a classic, and of course,
Hungry Boy mentioned that one.
It's a Wonderful Life. So the first time I saw it, I was in college. I'm like, what are these drops of water forming on my face? I was like, I've never
Clobby
seen.
that may be Clobby's. I don't want to speak for him, but that may be his favorite movie. I know it's definitely up there, and I believe he watches it every year.
And of course, one of the greatest SNL skits is when they did "It's a Wonderful Life" with Dana Carvey.
I didn't see that one.
Oh God, I can't. Of course, we get nuked in 0.3 of a second if we did any SNL stuff.
Oh yeah,
but yeah, go just goggle Dana Carvey, "It's a Wonderful Life" SNL. I mean, it's one of the funniest things. So
yeah, it might be on MeTube.
Oh, it's good. It's good. Oh, it's just so good. Let me see if I can find it. But it's just
if you haven't seen the honest trailers for Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, it's really funny. It's really funny. I do recommend that.
Oh, and that was when Shatner was on too. Yes, it's one of my favorite all-time episodes of Saturday Night Live when Shatner was on.
Yeah, that was a Shatner one.
That was the Shatner one. I mean, this Saturday Night Live used to be
good night and Merry
so
Christmas,
good.
Stuart.
Yes.
Thank you for joining us.
Good night, Merry Christmas, Stuart.
I hope you get Dolly's braces for Christmas.
Always a pleasure, sir.
Did Mark skip mass tonight? Oh, heathen.
Oh
no.
The rest of us. Yeah.
Oh, no, you didn't.
Oh, I still have midnight mass to go to. Oops, no, that passed.
What do you mean?
And there's mass tomorrow too. How do you know I'm not going to mass 9 a.m. mass tomorrow?
You may be going in
None
mass.
of this 5 o'clock stuff. Does that count? The Saturday mass stuff for Catholics? Come on.
His whole family would be going. He'd be going in mass.
Yeah, I was gonna say I caught that joke. Yeah,
I ruined it.
No, it was good. It was good. So Mark was telling us the stuff that he watches every year.
Yeah, I was listening. I was just
actually,
Clobby, now I'm good.
You were talking about asking him maybe to do a watch party of something.
Blackadder's Christmas Carol.
Oh yeah,
I watch that every year. Blackadder's Christmas Carol. That would be.
I've actually got that on DVD.
I love that. So I watch it every year. I'll probably watch it tomorrow. Watch a Doctor Who special and stuff. You know what? While you're here, Steve, though, interestingly, I think we should probably address the the whole Die Hard thing.
Oh boy, okay,
because
here we go.
People don't really have never, and once we'll say the final words on it, really, and all that need to be said, right?
Well, I think we disagree. So
I don't know if we do. I don't think we do.
Oh, really? Did you see the meme that I made?
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
I think basically people like to say Die Hard is a Christmas movie. Well, I have a nuanced opinion. You'll agree and disagree with me, Steve. Obviously, it's set at Christmas time. That takes place during Christmas Eve, and all that stuff. And if because it came out in the summer, it was released in the summertime of 1988. And it's an action film. The story, it only just happens to take place at Christmas. Although in the plot they used the Christmas party of that Nakatomi Plaza to their benefit. In other words, they did it specifically at the time. However, aside from that, there are no Christmas other than Christmas mentions. It's not like the movie Christmas Story or even It's a Wonderful Life, which has Christmas in it, but it's became a Christmas movie by default because it deals into certain themes. This is an action film, which I love. So my answer to it is a little bit nuanced. You could say I like to watch it at Christmas time. I think that's perfectly cool because I like to watch it anytime, but I can watch it any time of the year. In other words, some Christmas movies I watch them. That's something you really, for example, you can watch Miracle on 34th Street in March or April if you want to, and it's still good. But you want to watch that at Christmas time. You want to watch Frosty the Snowman or Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer or the Mr. Grinch at Christmas time. If it's a movie that you can watch all around year round, even if it takes place at Christmas, like Lethal Weapon or something like that, you could say this is a Christmas movie to us because we like to watch it then, and I think that's cool. But I think it just came about as people were making. In other words, I think this is a non-issue because people say it's a Christmas movie.
It's not a Christmas movie.
No, it's not. They say it as a joke. They're like, I don't think anyone really seriously says it until everyone told them they couldn't say it's a Christmas movie. Then they're like being obstinate. They're like, oh, yes, it is because it's Christmas. It's not a Christmas movie. But it can be your Christmas movie if you want to make it that. If you see what I'm saying.
Your Christmas tradition.
Yes.
It could be your Christmas tradition. Yeah.
But the themes aren't Christmas.
For those of you who, that's true. For those of you who I'm not friends with on the only social media that I do, and the only reason I'm even on Facebook is basically to keep in touch with people like Clobby, who I can't see on a regular basis. I made a meme, a 2-frame meme. The first one was a picture of John McClane with blood and his gun, and it says, those of you who think that Die Hard is a Christmas movie, and in the second panel, I have Norman Osborn sharpening the knife at Aunt May's table when he's about to carve. It says, think that Spider-Man is a Thanksgiving movie.
Yes.
So
I believe
it's just a fun. It's just like a fun thing. It's a fun thing to say.
It's just a lark. People are having a little fun with it. Yeah.
And now it's become serious.
No, I agree with both of you, and I think that I think it started out. I think everyone started out sort of with their tongue in cheek about that. But the people who have taken the pro position have dug in so hard now. I think they're like, well, I can't back out now. Right. There's a certain point, even when you're arguing something, that's not that important to you. I think once you've countered enough, oh yeah, well, what about, you haven't thought about this? At a certain point, you're like, oh crap, now I'm kind of stuck here being it's a Christmas movie guy.
Which is why they released it in July, right?
Exactly. It's a harmless joke to make, and people who I think neither side should be take it that seriously. If someone says, "Oh, it's not one, pal," that's also extreme. It's like, if you want to call it Christmas or whatever. Now,
or enjoy it. Christmas thing.
The argument though, if you have to have the argument, which you shouldn't have to, you got to go. Well, look, if a Christmas movie has a certain definition, it doesn't fit it does not fit the definition. Just because it's not
like Christmas Vacation. I mean, where it's
right, exactly. It's
about
Christmas
the damn dinner and the lights and
Die Hard on Christmas, then maybe
good point. Stuart Mitchell, Batman Returns.
That's a good point.
Pat S. Yes, this is me. The reason for the weird. Yeah, he asked. He said, "Is that Steve Brown? Why'd he change his voice overnight?" I'm sick. I'm getting over being sick for off and on for 3 weeks. And so, guys, will you indulge me while I sing the song one more time?
Do it, please.
Because I will never be able to do this well when I'm healthy. You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch. You really are a heel. You're as cuddly as a cobra. You're as charming as an eel, Mr. Grinch. Or, the other thing I feel like I should be able to do, guys, is say, I am the knight. I am Batman.
That is fantastic, dude.
Well, I have my Grinch figures in the other room. Otherwise, I'd put that on the screen.
That's excellent. That would have been perfect.
That was really good. Yeah.
I'm
going to go grab my Grinch figure.
In my head, and you know how your voice always sounds different in your head, and people hate when they hear their. In my head, I sound like Kevin Conroy.
Well, you just sound exactly like that song. I mean, that's perfect. That's great.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
But I mean, like I said, you could have it could be a Christmas tradition that people like. I mean, it was a cute joke when I first started. Like, yeah, it's Christmas. Yeah, and I laughed like everybody else. I was like, yeah, I guess it is. And but then people, like you said, got really. Some people got bent out of shape on both sides of the thing. Like, if you want to call it one, call it whatever you want. I mean, but if we're gonna quibble about definitions. And you're gonna say, it's nobody's being hurt one way or the other, but No, yeah, see, you got a good review. That was fantastic, Thor. There you go.
We have
That's good
You
stuff.
got some great reviews.
oh,
Awesome.
thank you, Kal-El. Oh,
Great reviews from
good
all
Kevin
these guys.
So,
Kevin Conroy.
a quick story. There you go. You're a mean one,
Mr. Mark.
Mr. Park. That's awesome. I'm a huge fan.
Love it.
So I
That's
have
great.
Two sizes too small.
That's perfect.
And I got this one. This is my other. This is a great series that McFarlane
Oh
put
wow.
out.
That's
So
awesome.
this one you can. Oh, it's not dusted. Don't tell Raquel.
You're
I gotta fix it.
Mr. Grinch.
But you can pull them.
Jerk. Sorry.
They'll
So
be
the rain.
tankling their pantukas.
You really are a prick.
Got to fix the reindeer there.
You're a jerk
His
off.
legs
You're a
broke.
scumbag.
Okay.
You're an asshead. You're a dickweed, Mr. Grinch.
Okay. Trivia time. Who knows what the dog's name is?
Max.
Wow.
Oh, good job. Okay, who
Nice.
sang? Who really sang the song that I just sang?
Boris Karloff.
Boris
No.
Karloff. No,
No.
he did the voice, but he didn't
He
sing
did-
the
he did
song.
the talking
Oh, he didn't
I
voice.
sing
can't
the
remember the
song?
guy's name.
But do you know what he's famous for, Clobby? You probably do.
Mm-mm.
They're great.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yep,
Tony
his
the
name was-
Tiger
the most Norwegian, the most
And-
Norse name ever. The guy's name
And
was
Fred
Thorl Ravenscroft.
and Flintstone. Fred Flintstone, right?
No, he wasn't Fred Flintstone.
He did do that. He just did Tiger.
He
They're
played
great.
Tiger. They're great, and he was
Okay.
uncredited.
thought he did Flintstone.
He was uncredited in The Grinch, and
not fair.
Ted Geisel felt so bad about it. That's Dr.
Oh,
Seuss for
yeah,
those
Dr.
of you who are not
Seuss.
the nerdy.
Yeah.
He took out a full page ad apologizing to him the next day.
Oh, my.
In Variety.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
so-
Wow.
Wow.
for getting him in the credits. So that's why you guys and everybody else in the world think that
Yeah, Boris
that it was
Karloff.
Boris Karloff doing the singing
not fair.
because there was no. That's how it was read in the credits. Was
Yeah,
The
I mean,
Grinch.
you'd think so, but
as Boris Karloff.
he doesn't
yeah,
sound like
which
Karloff.
So what
I
would
just always
happen if
think
there
of
was a
Karloff when I
trivia
think of the movie.
question?
Yeah.
So
If
what
it
would
was a
happen if
trivia-
you
that's a
like
good
you're
point.
about to win $1 million, and what would happen?
I think, and I'll have to check this. I think they have since corrected it on the DVD transfers. So,
Okay.
yeah. So there you go. So there's your
Good bit of trivia there.
when Chuck Jones, who was, in my opinion, the greatest director of Looney Tunes and probably animation of all time, in my opinion, when he showed his design for the Grinch to Ted Geisel, to Dr. Seuss said, that really doesn't look the way I drew him in the book. As a matter of fact, it looks like you, Chuck. And Chuck Jones realized that he had drawn a caricature of himself, which is not uncommon. Like if you look at The Incredibles,
That's Chuck Jones.
well, not that one, maybe not, but yeah, if you look at him in other poses, he's got Chuck Jones's eyes and he's got the normal smile as Chuck Jones's, and yeah, yep.
Wow.
So
That's a great character design, though. That's so
but
fantastic.
It's not that uncommon. If you look at The Incredibles, both Mr. Incredible is a caricature of Brad Bird, the director, as is Syndrome. So both the hero and the villain
I guess,
are
yeah.
caricatures
If you
of-
see
yeah,
Brad
so-
Bird, yeah.
Yeah,
Interesting.
So
Yeah.
anyway, I managed to shove animation into things again, so I apologize for that. I
What are you, an
guess
Oh, that's
animator?
great. I love it.
I'm a true
You-
two-trick pony.
You blended that right in.
Oh, thank you. It
I'm-
was seamless. Yes. Well, I planned it.
You know,
it for
That was a bad blender
blender
joke. Sorry.
joke. I caught
Well,
it.
you mentioned you mentioned Theodore Geisel, the great Gary with Nerdrotic, who's on right now, by the way. And he's on late tonight.
Yeah.
Gary with Nerdrotic, our buddy Gary, at the great Gary at Nerdrotic is he's told the story before. His father, and he lives, I think they were from San Francisco. His father was Theodore Geisel's accountant. So he got to meet him a couple of times.
That's very
So,
cool. That's
yeah,
very cool.
crazy,
Um,
crazy stuff.
Steve
I think
M.
he said accountant.
Cal-L64, thank you for the compliment of my Kevin Conroy voice. I mentioned this on Mark's channel last week that I found, in the last few months, Kevin Conroy, I guess he knew he was dying, and he did a bunch of those cameo videos for people, tons of them. and he kind of did them all the same.
Yeah.
Which somebody will probably dig him for, but hey, the guy's not a writer; he's a voice actor, and so he came up with, I think, a really good script that he did for all of them. But one of them he did for a guy named Matthew, who goes by Matty. So I'm going to animate it hand drawn, where he's saying, "Hello, Matty. This is Batman calling from Wayne Manor." And so when Maddie gets older, she'll have this custom, with his voice.
Wow.
But the animation will be for her. So
nice.
Very cool. Yeah.
Excellent.
So
cool
yeah,
stuff.
but
Man.
Well, he did
Love it.
quite a job with Mexican Iron Man when that was amazing when
that
Loki
video's up, man.
that.
You got to see that. That was incredible.
He said he talked to him like 15 or 20 minutes. And, Loki figured, oh, he's going to talk to me for 60 seconds or, and he spent all the time to learn about Mexican Iron Man and Mike and all the, the things he does for people and how he helps out people. So it was pretty amazing.
He made that video so long too. I mean,
yeah,
it was so great of him. What he didn't have to do it that long or anything. Mike made a big donation, but he could have just.
Have you seen that? Have you seen that one, Steve, or that video? Or
actually, I think I have. I looked at a bunch of them because I was thinking about taking different clips and putting them together and seeing if I can make a little video for Maddie, like the running horse beat. That's our horse. That's our heartbeat. But he did. There were some, there was one where somebody's grandmother died, and for those he did personalize. He starts them all with this is Batman calling.
I am Batman.
I am vengeance. I am the knight. Yeah, I am Batman. But yeah, there's one where somebody's mom died, and he went into that and told his personal story. And you all may know it about how his alcoholic father who beat him and his mother. And when he was dying, Kevin had to go back and take care of him because nobody else would. So yeah, he tells that story. And I have you guys heard this about where his dad's in bed, dying in bed, and he says, "The great Conroy." Huh. And at first he thought he was talking about Kevin and his acting career, and then he said he realized that his father was talking about himself. That he always thought he was this great person that was respected and loved by the entire community, and here he was dying all alone. So it's a very personal story that he opened up about himself and his relationship with his father. So I really gained a lot of respect for Kevin Conroy because he knew he was dying and he didn't have to go and do these for people, and even though he mostly wrote one really good script for it, he took his time and he did it, and he gave people a gift that they'll have now forever, or the jerks like me who will steal it and use it for somebody else.
Yeah.
So.
Well, amazing dude, and you're all amazing too, my friends. I'm gonna run down the list, play the game, because you should. If there's one day you gotta shout everybody out, it is Christmas. So I'm gonna do it. Of course, let me run down our fantastic wrenches. Big thank you to the great Maddie's daddy, my friend, my good friend Mark D with the C. Thank you both for joining me tonight. Really appreciate that. It's a pleasure. You're both incredible. Great friends. Great friends.
Sorry, yeah.
New friend and old friend here. But great friends. Appreciate you. Eric K. The Bronze Wrencher. Thank you so much, buddy. I hope you have a fantastic Christmas, sir. The Vindicator Wrench of the North, the great Chris Persia. Appreciate all you do, buddy. Thank you so much, man. Hope you and yours have a wonderful Christmas. Same with our good, I think D-Bud had to run, but we shout him out either whether they're here or not. D-Bud, the great man of iron, wrench of iron. Thank you, brother. Always appreciate everything you do. Hungry Boy, the great artist of not only Clobberin Times, but of course, our wonderful First Officer's book and master of the Clobby. Thank you, Hungry Boy, dude. You've been a fantastic friend here. We really appreciate you, bud.
Merry Christmas,
great
Hungry
Lord
Boy.
Thoth.
Merry
Christmas. Indeed. Merry Christmas, great Hungry Boy. And Merry Christmas to the great Lord Thoth and Lady Thoth, the god of the wrench, sir. I hope you and the lovely lady have a fantastic Christmas.
Merry Christmas, eh?
Indeed, eh? The wrench without fear, the great J-Man, my sometimes review partner in the world of Bob Haney, and of course, is all around great fellow and great YouTuber. J-Man, I know he had to run, but shout out to the great J-Man. I hope J-Man and his wonderful wife have a spectacular, fantastic Christmas. Phantom Outsider. Where will we be without Fanty? I don't know, but it wouldn't smell too good, that's for sure. So, Merry Christmas, Fanty. Cal L. Buddy, thank you so much for being here. Super Wrench, appreciate you. Hope you and yours have a fabulous Christmas. And of course, he is a wrench too, the great Maddie's daddy, the Thor. Again, buddy, you've been a fantastic friend. Almost 40 years, and about 40 years almost. We're getting there. You and Claude, been known you that long.
Impossible. I'm only 29. That's not possible.
I'm totally making it up. Thank you, brother, for being here, and Merry Christmas to you. And I can't wait to hear how Maddie reacts to her Christmas. I know she's gonna have a wonderful one. So take it easy, buddy.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for being here with us. I think Apollome's minion was here earlier.
She was.
Whether she was or not, let's shout out Apollome. You be careful out there. Both hands on the wheel, young lady, and take care of yourself and take care of the wonderful truck dog, and have yourself a merry little Christmas. Now let me see who we have to say some goodbyes to in the chat.
Ezra Goldstein popped in, yeah.
Ezra Goldstein. Oh yeah, I got him. Ezra Goldstein. Merry Christmas and Happy Hanukkah to you, my friend. We always appreciate you stopping by. Thank you so much. The great Pat S. Brother. It's getting cold for us anyway, man. Well, by our standards, it's a blizzard. Except, well, no, it's just a cold ale. It's just a coldie. Pat S., buddy, always appreciate you, my friend. You take care. Have a wonderful Christmas. Let's see here. I hope you and yours have a great, safe Christmas. Donnie Pearson, thank you so much. Merry Christmas to you, Dad Man, and the Dad Man clan. Have a fantastic Christmas, my friend.
Merry Christmas,
appreciate
Dad Man.
you. Indeed. Let's see here. Stuart Mitchell. A few hours ahead of us there. You're probably getting Christmas started. Have a wonderful Christmas, my friend. It's good to see you hanging back with us again, Chris. Stuart, do not be a stranger. JT Kirk. Take it easy, buddy. Merry Christmas to you, and be careful up there. And I hope you and yours have a great one.
Merry Christmas, JT and Stuart.
Absolutely. Takes a while to get DJ Ronnie G. Merry Christmas. Let's see.
Is it weird to see this voice coming out of Maddie's face?
No. Well, not to me. Larry, Merry Christmas.
I love my daddy.
Have a merry Larry Christmas.
That's a gooder.
That was good, Clobby.
It just popped in there. As Larry Christmas. There's a ring to it.
Can you do it in Scotty's voice?
I don't know. Let's see. I don't know, Captain. If I could do it in Scotty's voice, I'd do it. Don't you think I would? I'd give it all I got. I can do the parody voice fine, but not the real one. It's green. Let's see here. Let's see. Pod Racing, Palpatine, Merry Christmas. Tim's Talk, Merry Christmas to you. Tiger Stripes, very Merry Christmas to you. My dear, I hope you have a wonderful one. Catman, a.k.a. Dee Dee Myers, and his lovely wife. Catman, have a fantastic Christmas. Keely Chow, Roll Tide, Christmas. And Merry Christmas.
Clobby, if I may interrupt for 1 second, and I apologize. Dadman says he is and Mrs. are streaming tomorrow night. What time, Dadman, will you be streaming? Because I don't get my notifications. And if you could just pop that in the chat, and I apologize, Clobby.
I get mine when I go to to their page and hit notify me. I always get mine. So I don't know. My phone. Maybe a setting thing. So, yeah.
I have that for your channel for Purple Valkyries, for several, and for Cardinal Sins, and I never get notifications.
Crazy.
But if you go to the actual person's page and you see the video that's upcoming, you say notify me.
I do.
That should work if you're in YouTube at the time. No.
Oh, well. No, I mean,
Oh
don't
yeah,
know.
yeah. If you're in YouTube, that's probably
If you stay in
Okay.
YouTube, yeah, you got to
Yeah,
stay in the
gotcha.
YouTubes. Yeah.
Maybe that's
Gotcha.
it. It's Courtney. I think she's over there hanging with our good buddy 70s, but Merry Christmas to you, Courtney. Whether they're here or not, we get the shout out. Jedi
Yeah.
Bill, shout out to you. Merry Christmas. Whatever cast. Merry Christmas to you, my friend. Let's see here. Up in here, up in here. Who else? Up in here, up in here, up in here.
Did you catch Brian Hepburn?
I will. But now you told me, there we go. Brian Hepburn. Thanks, though, because
I know sometimes the chat jumps and you don't get to see everything.
Big time, yeah. I'm trying it backwards, see if that helps. Brian Hepburn, Merry Christmas, my friend. Simply Steve, Merry Christmas. Well, you have to. The lovely Lisa. I believe Lisa may have to leave, but Merry Christmas, Lisa. Thank you for being here, my dear. Retro Nerd Girl. I know she had to leave, but we get the shout out whether you're here or not. Retro Nerd Girl, my new friend. Merry Christmas. Okay. Let's see here. Let me see here. Hello, computer. Let's see. Come on. A keyboard. How quaint.
Not now, Madeline.
Not now. That's a new sitcom. Not now, Madeline. Saturday night. That's
starring the late Madeline Kahn.
Yes, it would have to be, wouldn't it?
Did you? And excuse me if I'm stepping out of my place here. Did you catch Kal-El?
Oh yeah, I'm with the wrenches.
Okay, good. I was probably flapping my lips.
No. It's good. It was Kal-El. He's one of the wrenches. He's super wrench. We super wrench him. Retro blasting, my fantastic friends, Michael and Melinda. Love you guys. Thank you for popping in tonight. Merry Christmas to you, my friends. I hope you have a fantastic one tomorrow. Great friends. Let's see here. Captain Infinity and beyond. Have a non-time travel Christmas, sir. May your Christmas be free of time travel. The time tunnel. No, just ignore that time travel box set I sent you.
We could, enjoy the best Christmases over and over again. Wouldn't it be so bad? God, to go back to being a kid and getting some of those toys again.
Yes. Well,
don't open them. Leave them in the box. They're going to be worth a lot of money.
True. Louis Sparrow. Louise X Sparrow was here. I think she already left, but Merry Christmas to you, my dear. Let's see here. All right, we're getting close to the game time, but not quite yet because I'm probably missed somebody. I'm not ready to take bets just yet. Decepticon. Good, Sean. Thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight, buddy. Always great to see you. We got to do a show again soon. Come on, damn it. This thing's taking forever. Bubba Doom 1. Thank you, buddy. And Death Ray. Altieri. I can't say it right, but thank you both. Merry Christmas to you both. All right. Classic Comics. Merry Christmas to you, sir. Okay, I'm starting to feel confident that I might be ready to win this one because I've already said DJ Ronnie G, right? Merry Christmas. Okay. All right, Mark.
I wasn't here the old nights, but I'm going to say no anyway.
Okay, you nay? I'm going to be...
I'm a nay, yeah.
That means I have no choice but to be yay. Steve, do you have an opinion?
I'm sorry. I was scrolling through the chat. What was the question? I apologize.
We missed anyone in the chat.
Cardinal Sin popped in, so I lost.
Yeah,
it's the game. The game we play as once I get mostly through the chats. It's did I forget anybody? Because I always think I'm always going, oh, that must be everybody, right? And then
how about Tiger? You got Tiger Stripes?
Yes.
The Cat Man.
Oh, there we go. Another one. The
Tim's
lovely
Talk?
Sherry. Merry Christmas. I got Tim's Talk.
Okay.
Merry Christmas.
Dave G Sound.
Got him. Nope. I don't think I did get you. I got DJ Ronnie G. Sometimes I get mixed up. Dave G Sound. Merry Christmas. The lovely, beautiful Sherry and the Legion of Memers. Merry Christmas.
Donnie Pearson.
Oh yeah, got Donnie Pearson. Merry Christmas, Donnie. Now I never know if they hear me. Sometimes they may be aware. Oh, that Just Joe Jobber. Merry Christmas, buddy. Long time no see, bud. Sorry about those Bears.
At this point, I think I'm going to say that you got everybody.
Okay, you're a yay. Mark,
Oh, wait. Whatever cast.
I got him.
You
Oh,
didn't say him yet.
You're good. You are good. I'm
I-
gonna say you've got everybody.
Okay, you're a yay. Mark, what are you?
I'm gonna be a nay. I'm gonna be a bah humbug.
He's been here
It's
too
gotta
many
be
times.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, Mark wins.
So many people.
Wagner.
Wagner.
Oh,
Wagner. All right.
you did get Pleasant Valley
Oh, and there. No, there you go. You got that one. Good. Wolfie.
See?
Hey, Wolfie.
and Wolfie.
So many dear friends are
boy,
popping in.
I'm gonna
Okay.
say nay forever now.
Now you're a nay. Okay, you're a nay.
Well, there are so
Mark?
many. I hate to be a naysayer, but
Mark, nay.
Nay. Another nay.
All
Yeah.
right. Takes this thing a second. Let's see how far back I am. I'm almost more than halfway back now. I figured backwards would be easier. So, so far, I might win this with this a yay, because I'm not see. I've got everybody so far. Yeah, I might win this with this time as
Oh,
a
no.
yay. Oh, you guys win again. Damn
The
it.
chat's got to help me out here. Come
No,
on.
you win.
who is it?
Dave. Merry
Yeah,
Christmas.
Dave was Merry Christmas, Dave.
Oh,
Yep.
sorry. When
Alright.
I said Dave G Sound, I was gonna say
But
Dave.
this is a
and
different
then I got
Dave.
the-
Different
No,
Dave,
I was gonna say
This
Ed
is Dave.
Dave because
Okay.
that the one sort of reminds you of the other, right?
Yeah.
Yes, and bear in mind, I can't see the back of the chat, so if somebody pops in that we haven't seen yet, they don't count. And we definitely shout them out, of course.
Gotcha.
All right, so okay, I'm going yay. I'm going yay this time. I'm going yay because we're almost to the end, and and I don't count wrenches because I've already shouted them out, of course.
Did you get Minimus?
There you go. I lost again.
How could you forget Minimus?
Minimus. Well, he's easy to forget. So, was Claude Salling here? Claude Salling was here too.
I don't think he was here tonight.
I think I saw Claude.
So what about Salty
Salad.
Traveling?
Victor Fontaine. See, I lost again. Oh yeah, you're right. Salty. Salty was here.
Salty C. Yeah,
Salty
Salty was
Traveling C. Merry Christmas to you, Salty. And the minimusness. I get to him. I'm not so sure. I don't really mean it when I say it to him.
here. Raquel was here.
Victor Fontaine. No,
I didn't see Raquel.
Well, Stuart Mitchell says, "Did you find Raquel's super chat?" So
someone said I was over
Really?
at Raymond's show. I went on for a little bit, and someone said that Raquel came in and sent me a big super chat of $100 or something, which she better not. Or she could be in trouble.
She better not.
But
She's
I don't
grounded,
see it.
man.
Do you see it? Gap After Dark. Thank you.
I don't know how to find that yet.
I give up. I'm always wrong. So here we go. Crimson Ghost the Fiend. Merry Christmas. All right. So you don't see one, do you? I don't see it. You don't see it. I don't. And she better not. She's gonna be in trouble.
Well, unless I guess you could check your
I don't have it. I would have
YouTube
it.
studio later. I guess you would see your super chats in there, right?
But wouldn't it be? It's not in either chat. You're a mod. You can't see it either.
No, but I wasn't here the whole night either, so
okay. Well,
I never saw it, but I didn't see. But
I know I shouted out Cardinal Sins. Oh yeah, Jeff Morris. There you go. The Real Wade Nation was here. See, that's why you go all the way back. Double C was here. Man, I'm not gonna bet anymore.
I can't scroll back far enough to see some.
Jim Largo. Yeah, I can. It lets the host do it.
Right.
Go all the way to the bat, and yet still at the very outset, and yet I think we got everybody now, but I'm not so sure. But what I can tell you is I didn't see that. At least maybe I'm going back now. I did not see it on there when I started out tonight. I did not see her anything she repped on there. I hope she didn't do that. She don't need to do that. Let's see. Glinzer. Merry Christmas, Glinzer. Andy Masterson. Merry Christmas. And Tobor the Robot. Merry Christmas. See, that's why you don't bet.
there you go. Yeah.
Yeah, because you just. I mean, that was hours and hours ago now. So what do you do? It's a long chat. I know Gary could never even do this. Yep, Claude Salling was on there. Merry Christmas, Claude Salling. I'm saying it right. Salling. I don't know. So now I know. I'm going back beyond the time I even started and seeing nothing. So no. Oh, Sandra Feliciano popped on there at 7:28, an hour and a half before I even started. And she's mentioning, see, look at this. She said, Aaron Briggs, I hope you have a wonderful holiday. But I don't see Aaron Briggs anywhere.
Well, maybe she thought Raquel was in for a few minutes, but she never said hi or she never popped in at all, though, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I guess not. So,
okay.
But Stuart Mitchell says that did you see a super chat, Stuart? I didn't find it, so I'll have to look. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Well, anyway, thank you all. Appreciate you so much. You got some more, it's almost Christmas for Maddie's dad. He's got a little time to go before it turns Christmassy.
Yep.
Hope Santa Claus brings you all what you want. And if you're still out there looking for some more streaming, I know that Gary's still on. Yellow Flash is on. Ricada's on. 70s. Is 70 still on?
Well, let me check. I think
Medicare's still on. You know what's funny? Big guys like Medicare, Ricada, and Yellow Flash are on, and Gary's doing better than all of them.
God, they better go to bed soon because Santa's not going to bring them any presents if they're up.
Yeah, Gary has plenty of presents. Just look at his wall behind him. So, thank you. He said Sandra was answering to Raquel's super chat. Thank you, Stuart. I'll have to look into it. I can't find it. All right, Picker. Have a good one, everybody. Merry Christmas, and we are gonna play ourselves out of here. Good night,
Merry
everybody.
Christmas, everyone. Happy New Year.
I just love clobbering time.